Now that we have headphones and we can all hear what's going on, this is so nice. So anyway, welcome to Shootin the Shibby. This is the Shibby Shack. I'm Spencer.
I'm Bob.
He's Bob.
I'm Brian.
We have a special guest with us today. And what is your name, sir?
My name is Satchell. How's it going?
Woo! How are you, Satchell? Pleasure to have you.
Doing well. Thanks so much for having me.
But of course.
So these headphones are a new edition.
They are.
Yes.
They actually are. They are, yes.
We're testing out
Literally
this
the maiden
right
voyage of,
I like it. I
of
mean,
the headphones.
It's super legit.
Other podcaster might call them standard equipment or a necessity, but you know, we made it work. I did realize something. Like I had no idea how much of my beer touching the coaster made a like. I didn't realize it sounded like
Just like
fee-fi
that?
fo fum. Like
He says as he continues to do it.
it's for the description, Brian.
I mean, you'd think this would absorb it. This is a really nice edition.
well, if
by
you
the
don't
way.
have
I like
it,
Thanks,
ooh,
man.
it's even if you.
Where do you even get? I feel like you have to go to like a bar.
Yeah, like a restaurant depot
You know how
kinda
there's
deal.
like a teacher store? Like if there's like a bar store.
I guarantee they're at Pier 1 Imports.
I really wish I could tell you where I got them, but my dad got them for me. It
That's
was right
wonderful.
after we got this bar because we tried to get like 7 other bars before this one,
Okay.
and they all failed because they were all way too big.
I mean, fair. I mean, respect for transporting this guy.
This guy
kind of
actually,
like-
this one wasn't
It's
too
super
bad
heavy.
because this top part actually comes off, but I can't do it because everything's
dude,
on it.
nice.
It does,
But this top part comes off because underneath this is a poker table, and if you take this part off, underneath it is a roulette table and a craps table.
That is amazing.
So we can have a whole casino down here.
Oh my god! Do you know
We
what
can
that
have
reminds
so
me of?
much fun right now, but we're just sitting here talking to each other. Like, what are we doing?
Do you know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you guys remember, like in like early 2000s, late 90s, there was like the pool table that turned into like the table tennis.
Yes.
and, like,
Of course.
the
Yes.
air hockey. Oh my gosh, that's
The
wonderful.
best.
I actually have one of those at my job. We have a like a whole game room kind of deal, and the way we got all of it is the best. So I'd say maybe like a month or two before I started back in April. They had this survey going around about employee morale, and everyone was super pissed off for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They're
And
at work.
because of it, like one of our head people in the office is just like, you know what? Let's build a game room. So out of that really bad survey, it came with a Pop-A-Shot area, a air hockey table, a foosball table, a ping pong
Now,
table.
when you say
Did it work?
When you say Papa
It would
Shot,
work on me.
Pretty
Like,
much.
I'm a cheap sell.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. And every single day. And the best part is my office is right outside of the game room, so no matter where I go, I have to walk by the Pop-A-Shot. So I'll just
That's
sit there and
beautiful.
I'll just take a couple
Hell yeah.
shots. If I make it, I score. I'll walk away. If I miss, I'm gonna keep going until I make at least one, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm good now. I'm happy.
that's not
This
what
is
I
what we're gonna do.
thought of when you said Papa Shot. Not gonna lie.
I wish we had a bar. We need to get a bar.
I thought I
at
heard
work.
you say pop a squat. You sitting
See,
down
my
and
old
pop
my
a
old
squat.
workplace, I used to do phone sales. I sold car parts and whatnot, and they also had a game room. And so, like during your like intro to the job and whatnot, they would show you, you can come out here, play some Xbox on your break. But then you start working, it's like, well, you're in sales. Yeah, you can go take a break if you want, or you can, I don't know, sell stuff, make money, do the thing you came here. Those are great though.
See, the caveat with one of those things is that shame culture. Like, if you can get around, you can go and you can actually
exactly.
use it, or if it's there to show people, we have a game room. Employees have fun. They have fun.
Notice the vacant game room.
But if you go in there and use it,
maybe
say
they hire
goodbye to
like
your vacation
one
days.
person. Yeah, right. They hire like one person just staying there. But we're so progressive as a company.
Well, it's
We're
funny.
just like Google.
They're actually putting in a.
Right? No. Yeah. It's like those places that are like, it's unlimited vacation here. It's like, okay, Carrie. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Do you see all these bicycles in the hallway? This is just Google. We're all a family.
Everyone has their own personal Segway to get from point A to point B, which is just literally around the corner. It's probably easier to walk because you have to park it. You got to find somewhere to charge the damn thing. Like, it's easier to take 2 steps. Hey, Carol, how's it going? Like,
Use your Segway, Carol. Use the goddamn
it's like the one day
Segway,
they bring it out.
Carol.
It's like at the open house, they're like touring the thing. It's like, Carol, get on the Segway. She's like, okay. She steps 1 foot on, goes right under her, and gets sailed away.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get off your rascal. That has too many wheels. We're gonna need on the Segway.
we actually have a 2-wheel policy here.
All of our machines are under 50 cc.
Oh my gosh! So if they were actually motorized, that'd be the best. I mean, all right, I'm just gonna go over to the bathroom. Just be the. See, that's a workplace. That's
got
a
my
work
150
environment I can
cc.
get.
thing going on, just zooming through the hallway.
I was about to say, I know you're talking Mario Kart, but that is more than enough power on a Segway. In fact, we can make that happen. That make a good video.
You do have a scooter. You just have to buy a Segway.
It also has to
finish
run.
rebuilding it.
That is true.
Fuck. How's your scooter running, Brian?
I actually have a scooter at my parents' house that runs perfectly fine. Thank you.
Does it have a motor?
I don't know. Maybe.
That's a no.
You're asking me anything automotive? I know nothing. I have a car that goes from A to B, and sometimes it works. That's the.
You know, when you guys say scooter, you mean like Vespa, kind of? Like, is that what we're talking about?
I wish.
Me too, because my dream is to have a yellow Vespa, and I don't need to explain why my dream is to have a yellow Vespa.
Preaching to the choir right over there.
All right, I wasn't.
Which also might be a fun story to tell. How we actually got in contact was he found me through Instagram because he was also at the Pillows concert that we went to.
You were?
Yeah. We were literally moshing right next to each other. And I was like, oh, I was bumping up in that dude. He was going wild. It's crazy.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Spencer just fell in love.
You're my new hero.
Yeah, we almost went to the Massachusetts one. Because
really,
he
that was the one that was advertised on Facebook,
and on Facebook it said like the Pills in Boston, Massachusetts,
right.
And he was like, "Yo, like the Pills,
we'll go anywhere.
The Pills
yeah,
are going. Like, do
here.
you want to go?" And I was unemployed at the time, so I was just like, "I could do it, but are we really about to drive 5 hours?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think we will." So then he shares it like, "Who's trying to go to this right now? Like, we're about to buy tickets." And then I think a friend of his was like, "I'm going to the one in New York City." Like 5 days earlier.
Right.
And I was just like, Spencer, there's one in New York City.
Yeah.
And you looked up the one in Massachusetts.
They're not as
there was no way to
dedicated.
know. It was all through Facebook ads. Like, that's how I learned too. And like, I thought the one that I went to was the only one, and then I found out, oh, they're just doing a whole tour. Everybody gets to experience it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
just
It was
for the record, I have a 1985 Honda 180, or excuse me, Honda Elite 150 Deluxe. You know it's a Deluxe because it has a pop-up headlight.
Oh my gosh.
And that
The
was
people in Radioland cannot see this, but it's beautiful. And it has the P sticker in the
It
back.
does. That was an
That
addition.
is beautiful.
I did that.
Dude. This is so righteous.
I want to. So it's off the road right now, but I want to rebuild it and I want to paint it yellow. And I pretty much want to make like an '80s homage to the Vespa, because she drove. If you ever find a 1965 Vespa 180 Super Sport, that's what Haruko rode in the.
All right, I'm going to ask you for that later and write it down, 'cause
Absolutely,
that is
sir.
exactly what I want. I do not want to skimp on that. Also,
or at least you could just find a Vespa with a trapezoid headlight. All the other details don't really matter in my mind. I just want the trap
You
headlight.
need to get a guitar too.
I got a Guitar Hero
get a little
controller. It's good
Gibson
enough.
SG. Yeah. It was hard for me to not want a Gibson SG.
Right.
Dude, props to you for this beautiful Volkswagen. That's 2 punches worth. That's 2 punches.
The bus? Well, unfortunately, it's not mine. It had, how do I say, vented floors, rot everywhere. It was missing the
full
rear
of
deck.
bees?
It might have been. I mean, they have plenty of room to go in and out of the thing. Let me tell you, with the doors closed. And the guy wanted only $5,000 for it. You know, it's whatever. I almost keeled over.
But you do also have
these old air-cooled buses go for such stupid money, and I get there's romance about being I used to have one when I was 12 and I was a hippie, and it's just like
They were 12 and
shit.
driving the bus.
You don't know how Germans work.
Silly me. How could I forget? You're 12
silly
years
Germans.
old. You're 12 years old. They're like, get out of school, going right on the Autobahn. You're driving the bus.
I mean, given if you took a bus in the auto, you're hitting a maximum of like 70 with the downwind. So
You know that episode of Futurama where Fry finds the old school Volkswagen bus, and then my favorite joke on it was the professor comes over. He's like, "How do you stop the passage of time?" And Fry pulls out the bong from underneath the seat.
But there's just, I mean, these buses go for stupid money, and I mean, I get it, market value and all, but I mean, there's a ton.
How much on average?
I mean, that
If you know off
bus.
the top of your head.
It all depends, because there's just so many different ways that they're spec'd out. But if you had like a 13 window like bus like that, easily $40,000 if it's in decent condition, restored 60. If it's a 21 split window, you're looking at 6 figures. Mind you, no air conditioning, no frills in it whatsoever. They're just cool looking, and I want one. I mean, I'm
with you,
I
man.
love
I get it.
anything that's really overpriced and unreliable. That's just how I live my life.
Speaking of something that is overpriced and unreliable, it's not overpriced if you sell it right now, but I'm saying for the amount of money you put into that thing, the turd.
There is no amount of money that there's emotional value, and that's the value that really matters. You
should pull up a picture of the turd. Because he has a car.
Are we interviewing him or are we interviewing me?
Well,
I mean, I'm having fun learning a lot about you right now.
Hey man,
so.
I was just like, hey, we're talking about unreliable cars. Let me tell you about unreliable cars. This thing has broken down more times than I could honestly count.
Have you bore witness to this?
Yes.
Oh, we've been involved.
Here's a better one.
Every single one of us has
Here's
been
a
here.
picture of my car rescuing the scooter.
Your car's the one that should need the rescue.
The scooter's just hauling my car. That'd be great.
Honestly,
so was part of the appeal the decals or the decals you were doing?
Sir. No, okay. So that was originally that's a 2003 Volkswagen Golf. So it originally had a roof and all. You can scroll through my Instagram. There's more pictures, and I don't think there's anything for me to be ashamed of. But if not, have at it.
Spencer's up on the X.
To be fair, we did learn a lot about you before we started.
It's all stuff I already knew.
But so it started off at 2003 Golf. I got it when I was 16. It's my first car. And my parents were, like, when I was about to graduate high school, they went to a car show and they saw a person that had realistic flames done on their old 55 Chevy. And for my graduation gift, they were like, hey, Spencer, do you want flames on your 2003 Golf? And 18-year-old Spencer's like, sure.
I can have an in real life Hot Wheels car.
I mean, it pretty much was. But now go further into the car scene. Like, usually when someone modifies their vehicle, they try and stick with a certain theme, or you try and do one thing. You try and make the car complete. This was just a bone stock 2-liter automatic Golf with flames on it. So as the years went by, we did proper modifications, like cutting the springs on it to make it lower. That's not proper. We put red steel wheels on it, white wall tires on it, and then eventually, 8 years later, it was time for, I was thinking about getting a new car, but I was talking to my one friend. I was working at a car dealership, and I told him, I was like, I'm going to sock away a few grand, and I'm going to just do a refresh on the suspension. I'm going to bring back this car to its former glory. And he's like, dude, it's a 2-liter automatic Golf. What former glory are you talking about? And I stared at him with my mouth open and went and bought a 2011 GTI. So I had a few friends, and we were standing around the car, like, who's going to want to buy a 2-liter automatic flaming Golf? Turns out, in the modern Volkswagen world, flames aren't a very desirable custom modification.
You tried to sell me that car at one point.
I mean...
It was after my car blew up.
I think you also tried to sell it to me at one point, too.
You want to unpack that for us?
I was driving back from a friend's house one day. It wasn't
Y'all
like
thought
leading
mine was
up.
going to blow up.
True.
Y'all thought mine was going to be the one exploded.
True.
Who exploded now?
Yeah, my car
Ryan's
blew up.
Mercury Sable.
My Mercury Sable Sheila. I had a Mercury Sable 2002.
Crikey.
2002 Mercury Sable, a.k.a. Ford Taurus. And I was just driving back from a friend's house one day, and my car just wouldn't go over 40 miles an hour for some reason. I was like, that's probably not good, but I'm really close to home, so I'll make it home, and we'll figure out what's going on there.
Yeah.
So then I'm
I
on...
wish you showed up.
I'm on the highway by myself. It's like
car.
10 at night, and my car's just like 40, 30, 20, and I'm like, this isn't good.
Counting down to the new year.
Yeah, so then I pull over to the side of the road, and I was
Happy
like,
New Year.
all right, something's really not right with my car. And I go to dial my dad, because I was like, he'll probably know what to do.
Dad.
And then as I'm about to hit call from my dad, I'm looking up, and outside the part where the windshield wiper fluid shoots out to clean your windows, it was fire. It was fire, and I was like, I should probably not be in this car right now. I get out of the car.
Oh, you were still in it while you were
I was still in it when I saw that.
Dude.
I was still in the
Deductive
car.
reasoning, Sherlock.
And I was like, I should get out of the car. So as I get out of the car, I close the door, and as soon as I close the door, poof, the whole front of the car explodes. And it just launches the front part up and smashes into the windshield, and I go, hang up on dad, 911. Hello, my car just blew up.
Oh my god!
And they're like, yeah, we know someone's coming. And I was like, somebody. I guess while I was dialing, somebody else saw
that
and called it before I did that, because I was just like, oh, cool. So I'm sitting. There was like a grass hill. I'm sitting on the hill waiting, and I just see my car in flames in front of me. And I'm just like, this is a good time. And then my dad calls me back.
Start rolling.
And then my dad calls me back because I hung up after 2 rings, so he didn't get a chance to answer. And he was like, "Hey, is everything all right?" He was at the movies watching, I think, Monsters university with my sister.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, is everything all right?" And I was just like, my car's on fire. And I don't know what to do." I was like 19. I was like, I don't know what to
man.
do.
I thought I knew you during this. I knew you when you were 19.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
25.
Oh, God. 28.
And I was just like, I don't know what to do. And he was like, "Okay, I'll be right there." Because luckily, I was like a minute from him because he was at the Palisades Mall.
Okay.
If you know where that is.
Yeah.
He was at the Palisades Mall. I was on 59.
Okay.
And I was on like the side of 59 in front of like all those like fancy businesses or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like sitting on the grass hill watching my car on
Oh
fire.
man, that's a whole situation.
And then
That's got to be so surreal to just like sit there and watch, this
This
car
is
Yeah,
what
my car,
just
I
driving.
love that car too.
when you mess with us.
I love that car too. And the thing was, I was at my friend's house and we were like partying a little bit, but
Partied so hard my car
everybody else
exploded.
was like pretty drunk. I had like 2 beers, but then I was like, I'm
But you were 19.
I had no beers. And I was just like, I
had
have
a
to
lot of
drive
juice.
home. I'm going to be responsible and not drink. I only had 2, it's fine. And
This
so,
is not a good
But
party.
the problem was, at that party, somebody like threw up and a little bit got on my shirt at the time. So
Oh,
I smelled a
no.
little bit like booze. So when the cops came, I'm sitting on the side of the hill and the cop comes up to me and he was like, "What happened to your son?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was driving, my car exploded." And he goes, "I smell alcohol. Have you been drinking?" And I was like,
Have you, officer?
"No." I was just like pale white, already more pale white. And I was like, "No." He's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "I had one at a friend's house." He's like, "You're not drunk, are you?" I was like, "No."
I really wish
God.
you
And
guys
then-
were just like locking eyes and you just start squeaking. He's like,
I was just like, and then it was funny because then the cop goes like over to the firemen who are like trying to like hose down my car or whatever, and then my mom gets there and she comes over. I'm in a purple neon green Yoshi shirt.
"Mom, my car exploded."
So my mom
My car
comes over.
exploded.
So my mom comes over and she goes, "You smell like alcohol. What are you doing?" And I was like, I was like, my friend threw up on me, so I smelled like booze. She's like, "Get over here." She like, it was like my brother's shirt is like in the back, and like my brother's older than me, but I'm bigger than he is, like, because he works out all the fucking time.
Brian's
so it's like,
fat.
Yeah, I'm a little fat. So I have like I usually wear like at the time I think it was an XL. I wear 2XL now, and my brother wears like mediums or larges.
Okay.
So I have my brother's like large shirt on, so I'm just like, okay, like I'm uncomfortable. My mom is furious at me right now.
my goodness.
And I think the worst part about all that was my scooter was in the back. My like Razor scooter was in my trunk, and that got.
At least I still have mine.
I don't have my
Well, that
Razor
couldn't have
scooter
got messed
anymore.
up, right? It's just a big old metal thing.
Yeah,
It
it's got
burnt.
rubber wheels. It's got bearings. Also, aluminum does melt at some sort of temperature.
My car was metal. That was a metal car too. That wasn't a plastic car. It was a metal car. And,
It's a Ford. There's still plastic in it. Don't you worry.
No, it was it was a metal because it was a heavy car. I only had like 18 miles to the gallon on that thing. Ooh, excuse me.
Right. It was the late 90s, early 2000s. Anything. There was plastic in it. Trust me.
Yeah, but it was mostly metal. Because in the car I got after
Well,
that.
then how it burned pretty well, didn't it?
Oh, it did burn pretty well.
Yeah, metal doesn't burn very well.
Well, it burned pretty well. I actually have a picture of what it looked like
I'm
before it
very
became
curious.
a cube.
Here you go. By the way, that synchro is beautiful.
What happened?
You had a synchro on there? Did you?
I'm trying to find.
Did I take a picture of one?
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't know
sorry.
if that was yours or if
No.
you just took a photo.
You know what Vanagons are?
Wait, what?
Well, you said synchro.
Yeah,
Vanagon synchro.
yeah.
You know what those are?
I mean, I look at the thing and identify it as
okay.
such. Yeah.
Okay. No, I did like that. The ugly toaster of the Volkswagen world. That's what I'm saving up for. Of course.
Okay, got it.
Every time I think I save up enough, I mean, talk about unreliable pieces of crap. Every time I save up for one, they keep going up in value. And then hipsters get pissed off when they can't do hashtag Wonderlust because they're broken down the side of the road. But hey, whatever. I'm not salty.
Not at all.
Dude.
Yeah.
Let me see the picture. It's been a while.
We had a meme page in our
This
college,
is-
just
That is so
ripping
sad.
on each
Dude,
other.
that'd make a great rat out.
He just, the amount of memes that came out of that one.
Damn.
Yeah, that thing tore up.
If you go to our Instagram at Shibby Shack Official, we have the pictures of both Spencer's vehicles and Brian's car on
Yes. Yes, we will. We will have them.
Yeah, it was wild.
God, that's crazy.
You've had a
Knock
car
on
explode
wood.
on you?
No, thank goodness.
Well, if you don't have exploding cars on your YouTube channel, what do you do on YouTube particularly?
A couple of things. I talk about video games and music, usually at the intersection of like just culture, things happening.
So you stick to like
cool other
vlogging more?
stuff. Vlogging, not so much. Usually, I like kind of producing things.
Okay.
So they end up being a little bit more like video essays. But I've done a couple of vlogs where I'm just sort of talking about life.
Oh, I
Lessons,
watched
whatever.
one. He showed me one.
It was.
Okay.
It
We'll
was
get to
funny
that one
because
later.
I was telling them like, "Hey guys, I found a really cool guy to come on to the podcast." I was like, "Just so you're a little versed in it, I found your one about can we be too inspired? I believe it was."
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I found that one, and I was just like, "Gonna send that one right over to that guy,"
Hashtag relatable.
because I was like, "I know that one's it."
Is that a struggle of yours?
the way the dynamic of this show usually works is I'm just kind of here. Like I'm the guy who pushes the
No.
buttons and like sets up. Well, we'll get to that in a second. I set up all the gear. I'm
I'm
kind of
gonna feel bad.
the more technical guy. Spencer, on the other hand, is guys. Let's do this. We're gonna do this, everything.
Are you saying I'm pushy?
No, I'm not saying you're pushy. I'm just saying that you're the guy who
Saying
kind
you're
of
shovey.
yes. That's a good one. No, but you're the one who wants to have us do everything and kind of like shotgun blast.
I
it
don't
out
want to do
and-
none. I
No,
interrupted
but,
you.
but that's exactly bingo. But that's like exactly the kind of dynamic, on the show, because it's true.
We have fun, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. Just making
See-
sure.
I enjoy the role that I have on the show. That I'm just I'm the guy over here. I'll chime in when I need to, but other than that, I'm good pushing buttons.
I enjoy my role as well, and Brian's roles.
I
as well.
bitch about things no one cares about.
I very much like all of that, just the cocktail of it. I think that's kind of why I kept listening to episodes, and it's very surreal actually just sitting here because
I'm sorry. Time out. It's surreal
What?
for you.
yeah, because I mean I've kind of had this asymmetrical relationship with all of your like neuroses in one place, and like
Thank
now
you.
I get to see it all. I think all you guys sort of complement each other in a really cool way, and it's kind of nice to
You both suck.
experience.
I love you guys.
So, what would be your favorite video that you produced?
Fuck you. You're cool.
We're done with this bit.
I'm out.
So, what would be your favorite video that you've produced or put up, or been a part of? Even I don't know if you've collabed with other producers or creators.
Oh,
Okay.
he has.
So that makes it easier.
Okay.
Generally, when I finish my stuff, I kind of put up. I don't really like look at it. Like the exercise of doing it is like really helpful for growth and stuff. I don't have a favorite of mine, though. I kind of live in my own head, so I'm very tired of what I have to say about a lot of things. But like, I did a drunk extravaganza video with
Go on.
these trio of guys. They're the Continue guys. They do some Let's Plays, and okay, you guys are
I know
familiar.
Continue, sure.
They're down in Philly. I actually lived in Philly for like 4 years.
Oh, yeah?
So they were one of the first like other YouTubers that I connected with when I started making stuff. Just 'cause we were able to connect over just gripes of like living there or whatever, and it was really easy for me to go back. Yeah, they did a little thing where they just invited a bunch of different folks on to play video games and compete and drink in the middle, and it was silly and fun. And
Why have we not connected with
Great.
these people? Or connected with people of our tier of doing that same stuff as well.
Well, to be fair, you know what happened the last time we drank on this podcast. Episode 21 was a
Well, that's
thing.
when we drank too much.
Yes.
It was the 21st
Our,
episode.
I drank too much.
Our graphic
I
designer
don't think I've ever seen you that drunk.
is his
That was
friend.
adorable.
Bethany.
Oh, yeah. We need to bring Bethany
I
back.
need Bethany back for a legit episode. It was our first time having a guest, but the problem was she came on for episode 21.
wait, was this the episode 2? Was this recent?
It was episode 21. What episode are we on
We're
now?
on. This is 27. So six,
yeah, so I guess
six,
we
six,
could-
six
there
weeks
was a
ago.
guest lady on that made things super duper real because she was talking about like I think it was like
Jess. That was
religion.
Jess.
Oh, Jess was last week,
comparison.
yeah.
That was last
Okay,
week.
got it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that got deep, man. I enjoyed
did.
that one.
I really
was
love that.
fun.
I loved how inviting you guys were for all of that. Like, I love that anything is on the table.
Oh yeah.
That was like really cool to see.
If you
Yeah.
float my ego anymore, it's gonna pop. I'm gonna have to
Yeah, no, that's
No, I
that's definitely something I wanted to do when we got into this podcast, because a lot of people, the question I get a lot when I tell people about the podcast, like, oh, so what's your topic of your podcast?
we
I'm
just-
like,
we just shoot the
literally
shibby.
anything.
Yeah.
That's why I love the name Shootin the Shibby, because it's just, we just talk about literally whatever. We shoot the shit, and we just have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to like label ourselves to anything. Thank you for dropping my camera. We label
So smooth though.
and I don't want to put a label
They
on
bounce.
us and just be like, oh, we're specifically gaming, we're cars, we're whatever Bob likes to do.
Well, that was my issue. Whenever Bob,
I like to do things
Bob, I like to love you every
every
day.
day.
well, that was my issue with YouTube. Was I would get into something like
You do gaming too. I just wanted the time to shit on you.
we all do gaming, but like I started off wanting to do cars because I wanted to be the next host on Top Gear. Like I thought that would just be. I don't know if you've seen the
Sorry.
show. Just three assholes being assholes, but with cars.
Yeah.
So I'm halfway there. But I just
We got
it was
three
always
assholes, we
around
just don't have any cars.
Exactly. Well, we have cars, dude. We can still have fun.
We
I
could.
will happily do the 24 hours of lemons with you guys.
I still think that we should do that and record it and make it a podcast while we race. But we still need to do like an episode where you teach Brian and I how to drive stick.
I want an episode where Bob and I race in cars that drive stick and see who can do it the fastest.
Dibs
will
on the
get there.
turd.
Or
Because
you
if I mess up, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
If you mess up, it's
damn it.
probably not your fault.
but so
Just
back
blame the
to
car.
back
Do you know
to
how to drive
YouTube.
stick?
So what?
Do you know how to drive stick?
No idea.
Cool. You can teach all of us how to drive stick.
Yay!
We've only been
no,
saying
that's
this
not
for the
true.
last like 9 years.
In Outrun 2, I can drive.
So, but like for me, it was just always I would get bored. Like I would want to do other stuff. But I felt like I had to stick to cars, and I wanted to do a little bit of gaming. And then we had a gaming channel for a while. And I was like, but I also really like cars, and so I'm kind of
The gaming channel was a good time, and it was going pretty well until
we lost our editor.
person we had editing just kind of stopped editing randomly,
That's a
and
bummer.
Well,
both,
she
both
got
of us weren't
a
that great at
better
editing at the time.
job
Bummer.
that paid her. So
Yeah, but unpaid jobs.
Fair game. Yeah, unpaid.
No,
jobs,
she-
man. That's where it's at.
we
there you
still
go. He knows about it. Yeah, you
live here.
Shout out to our injured.
live here. Unpaid. Unpaid. I give this man.
They
a
use the
home.
barter system. He gets a
Yeah,
home.
to be fair, he gets a
takes few
home
pictures.
to live in. He gets a place to
I
sleep
house
every
this
night.
man
yeah.
with my lovely fiance.
You get pizza bagels in the
Also,
in the
live
evening.
studio
you know?
attendee.
Yeah, we had dinner together. It was
At
cute.
supper time.
But how did you like?
the
How
morning.
did you, as a YouTuber, how did you just go about doing you? What meant? Did you ever hit like a mental block or a boundary or insecurity? You were like, I shouldn't do this, or I don't want to do that, or like, what did you do to just overcome that and just finally go for it?
I would say I was probably in a cocktail of those things that brought me to wanting to make stuff, but it wasn't about making stuff in general. At the time, I was like doing a lot of design stuff, and I wanted to kind of keep myself involved in like Final Cut and cutting videos and all other stuff. I was just recently back in Jersey from Philadelphia. I'd sort of moved back, and in a little bit of a rut, unemployed. And just wanted to. I knew I liked video games, and that I wanted to sort of talk about that.
Right.
And I knew that at the time, that was when Xbox Live and what I think was it. I mean, the Wii Shop or whatever. Like all the sort of like consoles that are found its way into everybody's living rooms kind of have their own store, and they kind of opened it up to like independent developers to make their own thing.
Right.
And what that meant was a lot of people making interesting non-AAA games that talked about special things. So I thought that was really cool, and I figured it would be really cool to make videos that talk about games that are doing interesting and different things that we're not used to. And yeah, as far as like, I guess I kind of it was kind of birthed out of lostness and not really understanding like what I wanted to do. And at the time, YouTube seemed like a really cool like platform for, I guess, independent creative people to put stuff.
It's
like,
still cool. There's
like-
nothing going wrong.
oh, no. I mean, at first it seemed like a compelling place for cat videos and distractions and stuff like that, but
And Vine compilations,
yeah.
Yeah, an entire social media.
Rip Vine.
Vine
An
said,
entire
stop me
social
from
media
killing
is
myself.
a medium for social media.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, of course.
Except
Watching-
unless you're Alex Jones, then no. No, you don't
Watching
get
Vine
nothing.
compilations of like 90% of the same vines in each one.
And you
Oh,
know
yeah.
what? I still watch them. And
of
then they
course.
roll, and I watch the same Vines, and I'm like, I remember that.
They were roommates.
I will still never I will never not laugh at any of Will Sasso's vines about like
Lemons.
with the
Oh
lemons.
God.
When life gives you lemons. That one?
No, he.
Oh.
One of my favorite ones is he was singing Whitney Houston, "I Will Always Love You," and like he's always trying to hit the high and he's like and he like and he spits out a lemon.
And there's always like a little
But
bit
there's,
of
like-
water around it too.
But it was a jump cut. I was like, hot. Yeah.
I like this. The one where he's saying was it George Michael, where he's in the bathtub with the soap on his face, like, and, like the bubbles are like going everywhere. Oh, I love that one. That one's fantastic.
Yeah, here's the Michael McDonald one with the audio. It's only 7 seconds
Was it Michael
long.
McDonald? Oh.
Yeah, Michael McDonald. This is the Will Sasso one. If I can get it to work, actually. And he's in the shower with a soap beard and soap hair, looking exactly like Michael McDonald. It is one of my favorite things.
A for effort.
All over. It's the best.
See, but back to what you were saying before, I find it fascinating that your whole, like, fuck it, I'm just going to do whatever I want and put it on YouTube, like, that was your motivator. For me, that's been the terrifying part, and I don't know why, because I usually think of myself as a person that doesn't care what other people think, but I don't know if I just care so much about whatever, and so the reason why your whole video about being overly inspired, I mean, hats off to these two gentlemen. They've heard me probably say about how many different channels or video I want to try doing this, that, and the other, and I really feel like I'm going to do it. And it just never happens. Like, especially, we went to PAX East this year, and that's when I finally came up with a YouTube channel name, or Brian helped me come up with it, called Amateur Everything. So rather than restricting myself to Car Coalition, to gaming, to whatever, it's just Amateur Everything. I do whatever. I'm an amateur. I don't have to hit it. So it worked. I was super motivated. I wanted to like go around and interview people. I was talking to people like doing woodwork at PAX. They make these gigantic gaming tables that have a wheel on it that were
The Geek Chic or whatever.
Oh my God, they're amazing.
It's wonderful.
The whole center of the table recesses down if you want to play a dice game, and then you can wheel it back up for what. I wanted to do that.
Badass.
Oh my God, it was so cool.
Yeah, it was,
I
I
was
remember
tight. It
walking
was
by
amazing.
it. That was like a really cool setup.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, there's just something that's just stopping me from just pushing myself to do it. And I feel like that what's stopping me motivated you, and I find that fascinating. That's awesome. So like.
Well, I mean, you have this podcast, right?
We
Like,
do, and this
yeah.
is a step towards it all, and this is
Yeah,
it really is. That was one of the reasons why Oops, I hit the laptop. One reason we went from gaming, we were like making videos. Why don't we just talk instead?
Why don't we just do what we were doing in the Let's Play, but to cancel out the game part?
No, but it was just a way to at least just to keep something. Because remember, you made another point where like you'll get on a wave. Like after PAX, I haven't felt that excited about life since I was 13 and I got an N64 or so 9. I don't know, but it just if you don't hop on the wave, it just teeters off.
No, that's super real. Every time I get back from a convention, especially being around other creative people who are talking about what they're up to, and like, or you're just watching people in the middle of like doing their amazing thing, you leave with a huge boost. And like,
Absolutely.
you either convert it into like a couple of all-nighters, or you end up watching Scandal on or something.
Or Vine compilation. This is gonna be the best video I make ever. Right after I see this Vine compilation. Right after.
I got
10-hour loop of Will Sasso? Yes, please.
I gotta watch All Might fight Nomu for the 10th time in a row.
Did you find it difficult as a creator to reach out to other people or to like to network to get to a point where? Because I find it seems like from a YouTube perspective, it really comes down to like either compilations with people or just helping people out, just having people, and just like that's how you network yourself. There's this channel called Bath Boys that I don't even know if they're still around, but they did like sketch comedy, and they were fun. The only reason I know about them is because I love JonTron, and at the end of one of his episodes, he just put up a Bath Boys thing, and it was not until like the 30th time me watching that same episode that I finally just like, let me look at the Bath Boys, and they were decently funny. But like, do you find it? Was it difficult, or were there a lot of people that were like not very easy to confront?
I'd say so. With particularly with the YouTube friends that I have now, it all just kind of. It all feels like happenstance, honestly.
Yeah.
In the beginning, though, I was very intentional about reaching out to folks, but I definitely feel very anti-network in a kind of way. Like for me,
Really?
I feel not that there's anything wrong with it. I don't feel that there's anything wrong with it. I have friends who are very good about it. I definitely err towards introversion, get very energized being on my own in a lot of ways, and so I know that like. If I ever actually went all in for like a networking opportunity or whatever, I would like screw it up or like say something really weird or probably ruin opportunities for myself.
See, but would you though? Would you, or are you like me right now, where you have this stupid, dumb insecurity that means absolutely nothing? You're just telling yourself that.
I mean,
come on,
it's
I guarantee
it's
you.
highly probable. I will say that at the time when I went in, I was like, I really just want friends who like to do this thing that I want to do. You know what I mean? And like. The folks whose work that I was into were also people in general that, they seem like personalities I'd love to like hang with or whatever. So I had a couple of folks who I knew that not only did I want to kind of have a conversation with them, but I also wanted their feedback on what I did. So I just sent over a video that I did and was like, hey, I did this. Like, I'd love to know what you think about it, any kind of feedback you have. And I did that with the Continue guys. My buddy Shane, who runs this channel called Did You Know Gaming. It's like factoid stuff.
Sure.
Love that channel.
And semi-popular.
And this guy who like signed himself up for the worst situation of completing a video game every week.
The completionist.
And like, yeah, the completionist. And they got back and they were just like, yeah, why don't you do this, this, and this? And I was like, that's good feedback. And I did it. And then it just kind of turned into conversations. It wasn't until later. I remember I talked with Shane and he was like, well, usually people will reach out and I tell them what to change and they don't do it, but you actually did it. And it was just interesting or whatever. Like, I don't know a lot of people like talk about networking and they try to like put together keynote presentations about the key to making it work or whatever. I don't know if there is an answer for that. I think it's pretty variable. It's like very much like a lottery, but like
true.
I was interested in meeting them and getting to know their story, and somehow, for whatever reason, the feeling was mutual, and then we just kind of continued to be friends from there.
Because I went to one of the panels I went to at PAX was a how to be a professional cosplayer, and I went to it more just out of curiosity, like how do people do that for a living? I don't know if I'll ever want to do it per se, but they networking was the number one thing. They said it's every single person you take a picture with, even the little 10-year-olds, give them a card, and everybody just hand them out to anybody because you never know what will stick. Because like you said, it's a crapshoot, it's chance really, but you know the more you put yourself out there, I guess the higher the odds are of something sticking, you know?
No, for sure. I will say that for some of my long-standing relationships that were more professional, or I guess just like opportunity led to another opportunity to meeting more cool people, was just figuring out what you can offer and offering that to folks. Like, there were some folks I was just like, I really dig your stuff. Like, I'll design A, B, C, and D. Like, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? And that was great, and it funneled a conversation that sort of like extended beyond the end of like helping someone out with a project or whatever. And I feel like in like any industry, that's kind of there's sort of like, you don't have to see it this way. It's kind of militant, and I don't think it's super honest, but sort of that earn your stripes mentality.
Sure.
Is sometimes just helpful to have. You know what I mean? Like serving each other is a big part of like. Growing and meeting other people and being able to help each other out.
Right on, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I don't really. I just
right now.
no. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm consuming. I know. I try and keep it back and forth, but right now I'm just kind of.
No, dude, I totally relate to that. Yeah. When it's like what?
I'm gonna go
It's like I
home.
took him to PAX again. It's the funniest thing because I've been going to PAX since like 2011. It was supposed to be me and my one friend. He was just like,
Anybody
dude, there's
thirsty?
a game convention up in Boston. Do you want to go? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then my one friend was like, yeah, I'll go. Another friend, I was like, yeah, I'll go. So the four of us just went, and it's just become a tradition that we always do.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends got injured and he couldn't go, so we had this extra ticket, and I was like, hey, dude, you want to go? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. Can I get a Ewing, by the way? Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just pouring that on my floor. Oh, it's empty. Yeah, it's empty. You tell that to the wet spot on my floor.
Oh yeah, I'll be Yingling too. Yeah, thanks.
Yingling? Here, take this one.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, so I've been going to PAX East since 2011. I've gone every year.
That's awesome.
And oh my god, I love it there. I think I may have seen you there one time also.
That's very possible. I've been going since 2011 as well.
Have you?
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Then I definitely think I've run
paths,
into you because
it's like a deceptively it seems like a huge convention, but it's just this big old hall.
Yeah, it's like every time I go, I run it. I see like the same people every time I go. And like I run into people and I'm just like, oh, they're a cool person. I should have said hi, but they're already gone. Okay.
I just want you to know that I'm going to start
continue
making
on with
videos and they're probably going to be the cringiest bullshit in the world, but I'm going to be so proud of them.
You know, that's the thing. Who cares? Who cares if it's
I don't know why I care so much.
Because you're the one, I don't know why I care so much. Who has to go through and do it. And as long as you put that motivation to
I
go
don't know,
through it,
Bob.
then do it.
This is more fun with the gestures. Like I'm usually just listening like on the subway or in my car, but this is way better.
Oh, dude.
Hear that, Matt? It's more fun when you can see stuff. I told you.
It's there was I really wish we still have the audio. I lost it and I will hate myself to this day for losing it. But when we did our Let's Play together, we were playing Undertale.
Oh, wonderful.
And we were playing Undertale. It was his first time playing. I already played through the game.
Let me just paint the picture. Okay, so I just got out of a relationship of 6 years, and I was in a poor state of mind. So, continue.
So we started playing...
Undertale was a great game, by the way, because it was just so emotional. I needed something like that.
I just want to point out something.
Now that we painted the picture of a very depressed Spencer, continue.
Before I continue with the story, I want to point out our good friend Glenn Lane just sent here on the Twitch chat just sent probably the fucking greatest thing I've ever seen.
Oh boy!
In quotations, right on, man. Spencer 2018. every time Spencer's just commenting, so right on, man. And the head bob too.
Keep it positive, man. Oh damn it!
So then I wish we had the recording of it. So you ever play Undertale before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably played through the entire game, however many times you did. I played like 3 times. So
Nerd.
I'm playing with him, and it's his first time playing. So he's on the controls. So we got to Napstablook, where he was in his house, and he's like showing you around or whatever. And then so you go to eat his food, it's like faces right through you, and he's like, "Oh, well, after a meal." My family likes to feel like garbage for a while. Like, do you want to feel like garbage with me? And here I am, giddy as a child, waiting for him to do that because we had a moment one time where my parents got a house in LBI that we rented for like the weekend.
Okay.
And a moment we had together is very...
In a moment like this,
you would have thought we would have made out afterwards. But it was just the two of us laying in the color-changing hot tub on the roof. And we were listening to
5 feet apart because
the
we're not
main
gay.
menu theme of Star Fox 64.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't know if you ever just like sat down and listened to that.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Stars were in the
If
sky.
I ever just like Spencer grew the balls and finally made this video of the top 10 most underrated songs ever in video games.
Hey.
Number 1, main menu theme of Star Fox 64.
Fair.
My God, that thing is
Totally
fantastic. I listen to 10-hour loops of that all the time. But we were listening to that, looking up at the stars, just like talking about whatever, and it was a magical
That actually
moment.
sounds amazing.
Oh, it was great. So you know what I'm talking about when you're at Napstablook. He's like, let's slow down and feel like garbage. And I'm like, he's going to experience this moment with me. And he just goes, no, I don't want to feel like garbage. Fuck this guy. And says no. And he floats away. And my heart fucking shatters.
Undertale.
I was just like, ah. And he was like, no, fuck that guy. And I was like, Spencer, what the fuck? Why did you want to feel like garbage? I don't want to feel like garbage. And I was like,
I already felt like garbage. Just got broken up within 6 years.
I look at him and I go, learn how to have fun. Just learn how to have fun for once in your goddamn life. I'm screaming at him.
I think it was the angriest he's ever been at me.
I was so mad. I was like, what the fuck? You ruined this moment. I was like, he's going to love it. He's going to love it. And he got so, it was just like, why? What's going to happen? And then we finally got to the moment. He was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was like, fucking ruined it. Who cares anymore? And I lost the audio.
It's all right. He made it up for it. So 3 months after said breakup, I went to my first PAX, and he just spent the entire weekend making girlfriend jokes. So, you know. Thank you for being a friend.
We have a dynamic where too soon doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
We went to Six Flags. It was a week before Christmas, and so like we went to Six Flags for like holiday in the park. And he kept taking pictures with me in the like the line cues that say single riders only.
Oh my goodness.
Oh And
But it did get to a point at PAX where I just had to stop.
We're at
Please,
PAX,
I
and
can't handle
I
it
think
anymore.
I said something random, and I was just like, oh, just like whatever, haha, your girlfriend. And he was just like, dude, I'm gonna need you to stop. I was equal parts like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, and also equal parts of like, I broke him.
I found it. I found the spot.
I have broken the bat. Now Gotham is mine.
He swung the bat.
I was just straight up baying, and I was like, I have broken the bat.
I was doing more FLCL. He swung the bat.
Oh, he swung the bat.
Those
You know what?
eyebrows.
Did you watch?
No, I didn't.
Did you watch Alternative yet?
Nope.
Fuck you.
Nope.
Wait. Oh my
sorry,
gosh,
Progressive.
Alternative dropped? Okay.
I'm sorry, Progressive. No,
Oh, okay.
Progressive.
Oh.
I'm waiting
Alternative
for
is
Alternative. I'm
September.
very excited for Alternative.
Did you watch Progressive?
Not yet.
You're so excited.
It's
for
really good.
Alternative.
It's
But I'm very
Yeah,
excited
it's
for
super
Alternative. Yeah.
Progressive is really good.
really
I liked it a
progressive.
lot because I won't spoil much, but like, you know, definitely when you were younger watching the original FLCL, you know, you can relate because, you know, the kid was younger and, you know, it was kind of just learning about the world around you then.
So you would say even Progressive is sort of has ties to the original. I always thought Alternative might more. It just seemed more shoegazy. Like I wasn't sure.
Progressive, it really did have ties to the original because as when you watch like the whole trailers and stuff, it's a girl who's just like passing through life, like she's just letting things walk by. And something in the very first episode, that when the show originally starts, like the first episode, it's the main character who's the girl just walking as her body is decaying around her, and she's just walking in this wasteland as "Thank You, My Twilight's" playing. And it's just perfect. She's just walking around as like her arm starts to like decay off of her and her leg starts and she's just like stumbling around.
Did they fondle her yum yums?
They fondled her.
Get on, fully
and she has
gooey.
the horn in her head and she's
No,
just
she
kind of
doesn't.
like
Oh, man.
she's kind of like just stumbling around and then like a robot starts showing up and she's just standing there as like everything like her people that she knows
Ryan.
just dying around her.
Ryan.
And then like she
Ryan.
wakes up to the alarm and the alarm is like from the song going boop boop boo doo doo boop, and she wakes up and the alarm's just like time for school or whatever, and he's like she's going to
Brian.
school, she's got the headphones on, then life passes her by and it's just like fuck. Because like when you're a kid, like it was most about the wonders, and it's like kind of now that you're older, and it's like, oh, life is just passing you by, and it's like, damn.
Hey, Brian.
So it still just like hits home. What?
What is Fooly Cooley?
Thank you. I was trying to have. Fuck you. Fuck you. All right. That's why when
I'm following you. I feel it.
yeah,
I feel
that's
it.
why when we went to the show, and they left for the encore, and everyone's like, "One more song." I'm like, "No shit, they're gonna play like 3 more songs probably."
Yeah.
And they
We've
came
all
back
been to
out.
Oh my gosh, when they
Yeah.
played Last Dinosaur though.
Oh
Oh my god.
yeah, but no, but like when they came back out for the encore, and like the lights go off, like as soon as they get on stage, the lights go off, and you just hear boop boop, fucking tears came down my face. I was just it was one of the most like genuinely happy moments I've ever had in my life, where I just heard that, reimagined that opening scene again, and I was just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's like, this is
I
amazing.
remember. I know it's the Normie song, but I remember when they started playing right on Shooting Star. I was in the middle of the pit, and Brian was over here with our friends, and like a train with a cow catcher on the front of it, I just beelined over to our friend.
It was so great because he comes up and he's like, "You guys like FLCL?" And you hear, like, as soon as that started, I was like,
Done.
Where's Spenceer?
Yeah.
It's like we
I didn't even know they were going to
start
start there. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
We find each other through like the crowd, and we just like, yeah!
It was so good.
Oh, it was magical.
What song when we went to the Less Than Jake show we found ourselves too, didn't we? There was one,
I think it was The Science of Selling Yourself Short.
maybe.
Either that
That's a
or
good one.
Johnny Quest Thinks We're Sellouts.
Johnny Quest
feel like-
listens for sellouts.
I
was
feel
one
like
of those.
it would have had to have been.
One of the quicker ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Science is selling so short, sort of like a bopper. Are you a ska fan? Ska music?
Mm,
I'm actually rocking Backyard Superheroes t-shirt. They're known for their hit single Pop Punk Fairy Tale.
Pop on Fanta.
So I used to.
I've had a skank or two in the background.
Right on,
Yeah.
right on. Me too. I've been on like a ska kick since. I've been on a ska kick since like 2003. So you know,
Oh, since it already stopped
20
being cool.
2010.
20.
2010 when I first heard Streetlight Manifestos. I heard that everything goes numb. I was like, this is magical.
Hey, same.
But I used to be in a ska band. with the guitarist of this band, which are doing really well, but they used to have a song called Pop Punk Fairy Tale, which they just don't talk about anymore. So obviously the first thing I do every time I see them is talk about it. And I go to a show, and I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? And they're like, you hear like, woo, play Pop Punk Fairy Tale! Fuck you, Spencer, this is why we don't invite you to things. And they start playing. It's great. It's fantastic.
That's wonderful.
You know what?
What sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what instrument did you play?
Oh, I play trumpet.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you still go for it?
I pick it up occasionally, and I do. It's not just a
No, you do.
Pick
You
it
do.
up, pick it up.
Pick it up, 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 pick it up. He plays it. He mostly plays it around the Christmassy, New Year's-y time.
To be fair,
My favorite
three
that
of
he
us do.
Yeah, true. The three
Three of us do.
Well, the thing is, I used to play the alto saxophone.
You played your
but then
ocarina
I
in the
but then
corner facing the
but
wrong
then
way.
I just kind of stopped
He was
playing
also
it in
very
high
drunk.
school, and then now I have an ocarina that I
Beautiful.
play. And
The natural progression.
I learned.
Or
I know
regression.
one song by heart, and that is Kakariko Village because I fucking love.
Can you
that
play it
song.
right now,
That's
right
not
here?
that's not by heart. That's by Zelda.
Do you have it?
Can you play it right here?
Oh my God, play
right
it.
now. I want to hear it.
Don't
Get
be
it.
bitch.
Get it.
Don't be bitch.
The pressure's on.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Yes. But it's funny. You mentioned.
We're a full blown late night television show. We have live music now too.
Well, Spence, you mentioned.
Damn it! I don't have any of my
Backyard-
sunglasses with me.
Mentioned Backyard Superheroes. I
Yes.
started talking to a friend of mine who knows the sax player in Backyard Superheroes,
Oh,
and she taught him how to play sax. Oh, I have no idea.
yeah,
So I'm going to ask her about Pop Punk Fairy Tale because she knows pretty much everyone in the band. And be like, hey, I heard about the song called Pop Punk Fairy Tale. You need to.
I mean, you could ask her if she wants
bring
to
it up.
come on. That'd be kind of cool. Get a ska band or a few members because we don't have enough mics for an 8-piece band.
We barely have 4 mics for a podcast.
You gotta get a really big webcam because that's how that works.
All right, I'm gonna do my best because I actually have not done this in a little while, but
Don't fuck
This
up.
is the best thing.
You only
ever.
got one shot, Mom Spaghetti.
don't make me laugh, asshole. Hold on. Maybe my favorite part.
This one takes me back. All right. Not bad for
beautiful.
like
That was
no
beautiful.
pressure.
It's the ocarina.
What?
The ocarina.
Ocarina. Well, you don't get those in your country music?
I bought that at PAX East. I think way longer than that.
The
What was
authentic,
it?
made in the authentic
2014?
land of China.
I was still
There
in
are
college.
so many different kinds of ocarinas. It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, there's like
There's
4
the
holes, 6
potato.
holes, 8 holes, 12 holes. Crazy.
More holes than you can
so
handle.
many holes.
Yeah, so I specifically got 6 hole, and
Wait a minute.
it comes
Okay.
it comes with like a whole music sheet that like
You
teaches
couldn't
you how to
handle the
play some
8-hole?
songs. And I was like, the first song I need to learn is Kakariko Village because I fucking love that song.
First one I need to learn is cock.
Kakariko Village. But no, what's so great is that it has the market song. And I looked at it and I was like,
ding,
no.
That's easy.
Oh,
no.
no.
It's
It's very hard to do. Well, the thing is also, I have big hands. And I'm trying to like
Sorry.
Big meaty claws.
get all of it
Sorry.
around. Just
All I
like,
hear is
like,
excuses.
So I'm like, giant hands. So like, try like just putting your hands around that, and it's just like, it's really tiny. It's up against your mouth. So you're like, like T-Rex
not that
hands
tiny.
trying to do it. And
It's not
It's
that
got
tiny.
like spider hands.
Yeah,
You
it's
have to like arc.
yeah, it's kind of hard to do. It's like I wish I had a bigger one.
Wow.
Because then I
Like
could
a quarter of a hoagie, you know?
got a short sub
You got a
from
shorty
from
from Wawa?
Wawa. Yeah,
Playing instruments takes talent? Well, shit.
I just want to pick it up and be good already. What do you mean I got to
It's
put
all right.
time, effort,
It's
and
all right.
practice into it?
I've technically been playing trumpet since 4th grade, and now at 28 years old, I'm finally at like an 8th grade level, so I'm getting there.
Hey,
Finally-
same.
I finally learned hot cross buns. Although I will say, for my tenure of playing alto sax, there was one song I learned without needing the music for it. I could not play it now to save my life, but I wish I didn't. I wish I did like
Out with it, man. What's the song?
It was "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" by Elton John. My band teacher in middle school was just like, "All right, guys, if you can learn the song of the week without needing sheet music, you get like a fun day. Like if someone in the class can learn it without you looking at the music, you got a fun day at like band practice."
Okay.
And so,
wait, what is fun defined as?
Oh, like
a really shitty pop band.
You can just dick around.
Okay, great.
Do whatever you want.
That's a fun day.
Yeah, fun day.
Clarifying what fun is.
Fun day. Not playing the instrument you signed up to play for.
Right.
So I was like, I will take that challenge, and I learned how to play "Can You Feel the Love Tonight," which I wish I knew when I got older to be a little smoother.
Yeah, that's pretty smooth. That's pretty smooth.
I could be like, I can be smooth and play this.
That holds up now.
Actually, to be fair,
please tell me you
something
swooned
I did.
Corinne. Please tell me you swooned Corinne with "Can You Feel the Love Tonight"?
No, it's much sadder actually.
Oh, please tell me it was like DMX. Next, gonna give it to you.
Yeah, I came into a room and it buzzed the door open. I was like,
Next, gonna give it to you. Like, ow, ow. and at that point, she was just like,
no, I showed her because I was like something like a basic song I could play on like literally anything was I was like I could play the Peanuts theme song on a phone. I played that and she was like, "That's cool."
That's pretty cute, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was a really cute moment because I was just like, "Here, it's like you want to learn how to play a song on your phone." I was like, "It's a Peanut song. You do 1 2 3 3 2 1 2 1 1 1 2 3."
You should
literally on your phone. You could try it out when you get home.
You should give lessons.
You could play the Peanuts theme song with just 3 numbers on your phone.
Nice.
Just the generic.
It's 3 notes.
Yeah, it's just 3 notes. You can do it on your phone.
I didn't even realize that. It seems more complex.
Yeah, it's just something I learned when I was bored at home, and we probably missed a lot of phone calls, and I'm just sitting there in my room playing the Peanuts theme song on my phone. They were trying to wait back from the doctor about that important medical thing my parents were worried about, and I'm just sitting in my room.
Wait, I'm gonna see if this works with my phone because I'm hooked up to the mixer.
Oh, that's true.
Yep,
I don't hear nothing.
You can't hear it.
Spence, I think that might have been your phone actually that made the noise because you were playing.
Oh,
you were
wait. Is the sound off on your phone?
Yeah, it's your phone.
You might have to turn on the sound.
Let's try it now.
Nope.
Oh, no dice.
Okay.
Well, that's unfortunate. Got a Facebook message.
Oh, I was like, you turn your thing on, and Matt's over there sending messages to the group text.
You hear anything? Yeah.
Also, my favorite. So I haven't listened to too much ska, but my favorite song to go back to, and I still go back to it now. I've been doing it since high school. Is whenever I have like a really really crappy day, or like somebody does something like overtly like mean or whatever, and like I'm kind of like bitter about it. I go to "Somebody Hates Me" by Real Big Fish.
Yes.
It's so
Somebody hates me. Somebody hates me. Somebody hates me.
It washes it away. Something about like
I hate somebody too.
I think one of my favorite ska songs, at least for the memory of the song,
Oh, for fuck's sake! I know where this is going.
is "Superman" by Goldfinger. It was in, like all the Tony Hawk games.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh, that's the Tony Hawk game's not the memory though. Oh no.
Yeah,
Nope.
The game has nothing to do with this.
Even though it is a good song from the game, and
In college, Spencer had a radio show called the 4 O'Clock Ska Block.
DJ Spence's 4 o'clock ska block.
Where he would
Coming
put
live
on
at
this
107.7 The Bronx.
Hey, he would put on this really bad, like, pukey radio voice.
oh, it was so cheesy. I loved everything about it.
Well, it's ska.
And one day he was playing. What exactly was going on when this happened?
It was one of those days where everyone was actually in the radio station. Like we were all just happened to be chilling there for whatever. I was live, and I think I meant to introduce like "She Had a Girlfriend Now" by Real Big Fish, but I meant to. Yes, I meant to introduce "She Had a Girlfriend Now" by Real Big Fish. But then I did that in full confidence. Up next we got "She Has a Girlfriend Now" by Real Big Fish. And then I hit the go button. It's and like at the time I was like, well, I'm just gonna let it roll. The song already started.
Right.
It'd be
That's it.
unprofessional
We're
to
here.
cut it.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't. Oh, stopping it there
Yeah,
and admitting
it's
to your
live.
mistake is the worst thing you could
But
do.
let's just put something. It's college radio. Everybody screws up a college radio.
Sure. Yeah.
I guess it's just one of those things where I was just so overly confident about this introduction.
Oh, of course, 100%. It was the fact
Because-
that I'm looking into you as you're doing it, and you're like, "All right, up next we got Real Big Fish here on the 4 o'clock ska block." And then it's just like the look on his face of like, huh? That's not the right song. And it's just like, it's the, yeah, it's a, huh?
Wait a second.
So, like, in our radio station, the live air area is, like, closed in and whatnot, and I just look out the window, and everyone's rolling on the floor.
Oh, it was pretty
laughing their asses off.
Glenn got me that on a...
I used to love this song, too.
Oh, it's so great.
I still
what do you
love
mean
this
used
song.
to?
Who am I kidding?
Fucking liar.
But,
Our friend Glenn got me this once. We had a show called The Shillelagh Brothers, and he made the playlist every week.
we can't put this on YouTube now.
Yeah, no, we're fine. It's
No,
underneath.
we're talking over it enough. I don't think it's
Yeah, no,
bad.
it's
it'll
fine.
be
It's
fine,
actually
it'll be
fine.
I don't think great copyright.
What do you know about YouTube, sir?
Fuck's a normal boot anyway. I lost interest after they kicked Diddy Kong Racing out of their tournament.
Ooh.
I was watching that one because I was
Shots
like,
fired.
hey, let's get some research on here, and it was Diddy Kong
Oh,
Racing
man.
versus I think Pokemon
Oh
Snap,
man.
and they picked Pokemon Snap or Diddy Kong Racing, and I was like, the motherfuckers.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's like these motherfuckers.
No, they made the right decision.
No,
We're not.
Ooh.
We're,
We're cracking this
We're
one
not-
out.
we're not
Ding,
going
ding,
there.
ding. In
No,
the right
no.
corner, we have
because I
Brian
know where this is
Kelly.
going. I know where this is going to be taken, and I'm not allowing it to go there. I had
sir.
a rough week on Twitter last week.
Sir.
I'm not prepared.
I was okay with the rest of it, but until I saw Diddy Kong Racing, because I think Diddy Kong Racing is better than Mario Kart 64.
You take that back!
It is better than Mario Kart 64. There is much more to do in that game than Mario Kart 64. Tell me another game out there. All right, you think
Okay, bring it down.
all right, you're telling me right now Marvel was like, yo, Infinity War is the biggest crossover event ever. You tell me what's more of a crossover than a racing adventure game. Now, in Mario Kart 64, it's like, all right, you play the GP, whatever, you do your races, cool. It's a fun game, don't get me wrong. I will say the battle mode in Mario Kart 64 is better than Diddy Kong Racing's battle mode. I will give it that. But, because I know a lot of people played those games by yourself, and playing Diddy Kong Racing by yourself, or at least with one other person, is a lot, 10 times better than playing Mario Kart 64 with by yourself or one other person.
No,
Because
Mario Kart is
it's
much
an
better as a
adventure. Did Mario Kart 64 have an overworld? Oh no, it didn't. Did Diddy Kong Racing have an overworld?
Yeah, but
yes, it did.
But stickers at Blockbuster, Pokemon Snap wins.
No, dude, the Pokemon Snap. I beat that. I when it came out. It came out on the
That one
Wii
lost me.
U. I played it on there. I beat it in an hour, and I was like, cool, that's fun. Him and I have been trying. We typed in the code for joint adventure for Diddy Kong Racing.
Fuck the silver coin
We
challenge.
beat the entirety of the regular game. We're a little past halfway through on mirror mode.
Fuck the silver coin challenge.
But it's the silver coin challenge that's fucking us right now. I'll say that is the worst part of Diddy Kong Racing is those stupid silver coin challenges. Those things suck. But there is much more. Diddy Kong Racing gives you much more of a game. And you can play with 4 people. You could play the adventure mode 2 people. Granted, it's through a code, but still, it's got secret codes in it.
Honestly,
And it has a bit of technique. Fuck you. It has a bit of technique to it too. In Mario Kart, when you hit like little boosts, you just hit the boost. That's it. In Diddy Kong Racing, if you let go of the gas while you're hitting the boost gives you so much more. There's more in depth to it. There's boss battles. There's.
I'm going to give you a little corner that you can just go rant in wherever you feel like you need to do this.
No, I'm
but
enjoying this.
No, but like
This is-
finding the keys in
that
an
makes one of
adventure,
us.
like each of the worlds you go to, one of the stages is going to have a secret key out there. And granted, in the first one, it's like, all right, it's on that ramp. It's like that gives you the idea of like, oh, there's keys hidden somewhere. And then you go to the other worlds, it's like,
been like 1997.
and then
It's
like,
not a spoiler
I think it's
anymore.
like the 4th world. It's like, oh, to get the key, I have to, I gotta hit the bell, raise the bridge, be on the other side, or like hit the bell, go off, watch the bridge get raised, go up the bridge, and then you find the key up at the top, which also is a shortcut through the level. It is such a game so advanced of its time. It is such a good game. While Pokemon Snap's like, take some photos. And
You
throw
should
some
honestly
apples
have
at
a
Pikachu.
video about this.
I
like,
gladly
you should.
show the world how
I would watch
underappreciated
that.
Diddy
I
Kong
won't,
Racing
but you
is.
should make a video.
and it has secret characters
As a
in
response,
it too. And it has secret characters in it too.
I will promote it as a response.
I'll make a
It's
response
adorable
video.
boost.
This video is dumb. No, but
R.E.
my counter argument to you, sir, is solely in the base of the fact that Mario Kart was just a better racing game. The controls handled better, the characters were better.
disagree.
It's just it
I
handled.
disagree.
Diddy Kong Racing was better as an adventure game with racing. Mario Kart was just a better, on a technical level, on just control handling and everything.
No, because here's the thing: Diddy Kong Racing gave more for advancing as well. You got planes, you got hovercrafts,
I'm not
you got
talking
regular
about-
cars. You can pick whatever you want.
There are no
to
regular
race
cars.
through. Yeah, there's the regular cars. The carts.
Sorry, you and I have different terminology for regular cars. See, I'm talking purely from like a racing standpoint. It wasn't about progression and winning and this and that and the bells and whistles. No, it was just about racing. That's what Mario Kart was about.
Okay,
that's
but
what made it good.
Diddy Kong Racing was all about also the racing, but it gave an extra element to it too.
Yeah, for people that needed that. For us purists that knew what was perfect in the first place, we had our Mario Kart 64, and that's all we needed.
My real question, though, who has the better multiplayer music? Diddy Kong Racing or Mario Kart
Neither.
64?
Neither, because the N64 couldn't handle 3 people playing at once. It struggled, so it couldn't play the music.
Didn't Star Fox have multiplayer music? Maybe. Probably not.
But that multiplayer was very
Wait,
10 out of 10.
the music drops
Best-
out when it's 3 or more players?
in Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing. If you have 3 or more players, the music stops.
It
music
just
does not
doesn't
play.
have it. It still has like your cart noises and
Yeah,
whatnot.
it'll have sound
characters and
effects.
what-
It has sound effects for everything, but will not play the
I
music
didn't know
on
the
the stage.
processing power was that intense for
Oh.
Yep,
music.
even with
Oh yeah,
even with
no.
the Red Ram.
I was like, I could start it up right now. If we actually, I don't have 3 controllers, but
You can still put it on 3 people mode and it'll do.
no,
the
you
same.
don't. It sets to detect the controllers to do it.
I don't think Mario Kart 64 was that advanced.
But you can't select the players to get onto the track to do that. It's a thing.
Shut the fuck up, Brian. Just unplug the full one and put it in the 3.
You're gonna risk
smarter.
freezing the damn thing.
Oh wow, you might scratch the disc. What are you
It's
risking?
a cartridge, idiot.
That's the joke, you dick.
You're a joke.
Okay, and
All right, but you're biased because Mario Kart 64 is the only game you'll
best
play
game
on
ever.
the 64. We know Mario Kart 8's better.
Even though you
But
have that EverDrive thing.
But I have a question for you then. I would like to know why Pokemon Snap is the superior game. Because you weren't on that episode, so I will like
Oh,
to
no, I wasn't on that
Game,
episode.
wait, as
It's
a
just an knee-jerk
competitive
reaction.
game, or as like a superior game
Pokemon
for
Snap?
what? Just in general. Just,
I don't feel like the goodness of Pokemon Snap and Diddy Kong. They're
How are
on
they-
different axes
Yeah, how
to
are they
try and
Oh, they-
quantify them and say that one is better than the
In all
other.
reality, I was like, that is a poor matchup to like compare
Yeah,
games
it was not a
to.
good matchup. No, I guess I just liked one more.
Which is funny because I'm
You're like
watching
asking
it.
a photographer which one he likes of the two. Like I'm gonna say that I like Pokemon. Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that aspect, yeah, I can get that. No, because it's funny because I was watching the video, and I feel like Gerard, Austin, and Jared were all kind of on like the Diddy Kong Racing side, and Shane's sitting there like, guys, but Pokemon Snap's the better game. And then it was funny because Jared's just like, you're not wrong, and I'm like, no,
It's
don't
because
fall to the
Shane
dark
has
side.
this like he has this certainty that's very pervasive, and I don't fall for that shit. Like he always takes everything like we have. So we have our own like Discord chat where we like talk through whatever. Like we're talking through the launch, and like we were discussing. Oh my God, we were discussing GoldenEye versus.
oh boy.
Oh, here's a real battle that we always
fucking
have
hell.
every week.
I was trying to avoid this. The GoldenEye and what was the other
GoldenEye
game
sucks.
that it
You
was up
suck.
against?
I forgot what the game that was up against.
Oh, it was Paper Mario, and
All right, no, Paper Mario wins.
Paper
Yeah,
Mario.
Paper Mario
That's
is better.
not
I
Apparently,
haven't
all right.
seen the video, so I don't know who actually wins
yeah,
that one.
that's
don't
all right. You
either.
guys are lost. Anyway, the GoldenEye like he
Oh,
had
do
this
explain.
whole.
Oh, we got some fighting words.
He had this whole.
I'm guessing this is where all the Twitter fighting was. That's all I'm starting to, because I could feel my metaphorical
Well,
keyboard
actually,
appearing in
to
front
be
of me.
fair, we're very biased on Paper Mario because that's how we really became friends.
Yeah,
Was
that's
playing
true.
Paper Mario together. Your senior year, my freshman year.
Although there was the Mario Party one.
Oh, there was Mario Party.
I want
That
to
was-
play Mario Party.
that was-
I don't know
that
if we
was-
could tell that one on air, though.
I think we already did.
Yeah.
That was after losing my virginity.
So for me, I shared this. I shared this photo. Sorry, you guys in radio land can't see this, but
You just described
was
the
like-
photo.
I was like, "This is what I think about when I think about
no, I've seen
GoldenEye."
that
Oh,
one,
totally.
yeah.
What do you
It's
think
an-
about that? I
Oh,
think
definitely.
about
It's
summer nights.
It's an illustration of 4 children sitting in front of an old tube TV with the N64, just sitting there.
I have a
Got-
rebuttal.
Oh, for fuck's
I have
sake!
a
How
rebuttal.
do you
Wait a
ruin this
minute,
moment?
wait a
How do you
minute.
ruin this moment?
I have a rebuttal. I have a
I'm
rebuttal.
not done
Wait a
painting the
minute.
picture.
So-
the sentimental value that comes with this picture, you have people sitting on their couch cushions on the ground because the N64 can't reach all the way to the couch. You have your drinks out. Like it was just.
This is beautiful.
Our parents saw that as such antisocial behavior because it's a bunch of children staring at the screen. But there were such amazing moments happening when that. If it's almost was more human than playing online, where yes, there's more. You interact with more people on a numerical level, but there was just a social value that came with playing the games right there.
Wow, you're amazing.
Thank you.
I
like
so-
you too.
I have
What are you doing Friday? You want to get like a pizza?
Damn,
So-
so ask him out right here now.
So
I have a legitimate rebuttal I want to give that one.
okay,
Because no, I do respect that. I do respect that.
Learn how to have fun, Brian.
No, because
I will. One thing. I don't. One thing I will say. So the most common rebuttal was GoldenEye doesn't hold up to present day. To which I would say, and I think any reasonable person would say, duh.
Right.
We're
That is fair.
not necessarily that counting as a metric is. I mean, you can attribute power to that, but that is not like the definitive variable of what is good.
Yeah.
And far be it from me. And Shane doubled down in this chat in the way that he did, being very pervasive. He's like, no, it just wasn't the best of its time. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't. I'm just like, I'm not trying to be post-enlightenment empirical about data around something. I was 12. I didn't know shit. So can we?
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Don't worry.
You know what I mean? We didn't have discernment.
already.
Like we're not. You know what I mean? But so the hold up. I don't know if that. But anyway, please.
It was also monumental because not only that, all third-party movie and TV games were just absolute garbage.
I mean, to be
Right.
fair, they still are for the most part.
right. I remember playing like the Power
For
Rangers
the Mummy
game for Game
Demaster.
Boy.
That's a very good game.
It was booty,
and
but
there was
like
nothing like it at the time. A first-person shooter of that nature.
I will say for a first-person shooter
Duke
on the
Nukem.
N64, Duke Nukem 64 sucked. Let's be
you
honest.
suck.
I was saying, no. Here's the thing. I like
suck.
Doom and I like Duke Nukem. Both N64 games were not very good.
It was only the controllers.
And
Minor
I
detail.
will say, at the time when I was younger, yes, GoldenEye was a very good game. It was a lot of fun to play with friends. And it's thanks to GoldenEye that we got one of the greatest shooters ever made, Time Splitters. Thank you.
Okay,
Somebody else can respect
Yeah.
this.
No,
Time
that's good,
Splitters.
that's good.
Time Splitters.
That's
Time
good.
Splitters Feature Perfect 2 and Feature Perfect, very great. 1, it's okay.
Your opinion's valid. It's just his little time splitter boner
I
right now.
fucking love Time Splitters. I really hope that remake comes through
No, that's
one
totally
day.
fair.
Just
that was
in
a really
case our
strong
listeners
so-
didn't know in the past 10 episodes.
If the N64 controller had 2 joysticks, we'd be having a very different conversation.
No, but my rebuttal to
I
your
feel about
GoldenEye comment
Yeah.
is, so you know the 4
I feel
kids
about
sitting
that.
around
Yeah.
there. You know, that's why you would say it's better than the single player game. But you're saying the single player Pokemon Snap game is better than the 4 possible
you
players of Diddy Kong Racing. You just swap out that game for Diddy Kong Racing, and you're going to tell me right now I'm going to use your same argument against you.
That was good. That was
I'm going to
good.
turn that right around.
That was good.
I was like, he's going to show me a picture of 4 kids sitting around playing that game. That's why it's better than the single player game. And I'm like, sir,
You know
have
what?
you never flown around in your airplane stealing eggs from each other, putting that back on yours, maybe crashing into someone so don't take your eggs? You never rode around on those
Touche.
little like hovercrafts shooting each other to blow them up, or get the bananas to put in your castle?
For whatever reason, if video games were the things that were discussed in a court, you would make the best lawyer ever. I
Oh,
don't know where
that
the
was
hell
really good.
these skills come
That was
from.
really good. The way
It
you scored
only
that
happens like over the dumbest
You had this
thing.
smirk, and you had this smirk, like you, because you were able to. You were like, "No, you go,
No, I was like, no,
you go. I got your shit. You're."
I had to.
Allow
I,
me,
I sat
Start
there.
digging your grave
Miles,
for me.
Miles Edgeworth over here thought he had the case, and I was just like, hold it! Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, sir, there's a thing in your testimony here. I was like, let me turn that shit around down.
Oh, that was
It's like,
good.
You must be so good at fighting on the internet.
Spencer, you know all about that.
Shut up.
Oh, no. I actually want to tell him one of my favorite, I guess, arguments you could say ever on the internet was a friend
People
of ours.
rank those?
No, just
I mean, at this point, you might as well. We got to do
Is this
something
one's
with that.
everyone's favorite?
No,
anime?
there was a thing where
Is this the
a friend of
anarcho-communist?
No, I don't know.
That's not
No,
Ian?
this
All right.
a friend of ours posted a video about two girls doing like a slam poetry. About,
Oh, it was with
how-
Ian.
Oh yeah, it was with Ian.
yay!
It was with Ian. So this girl that we know posted a video saying like, haha, this is stupid. It was a video about two girls doing a slam poetry about how Mario was sexist saving Peach from Bowser. It's like, maybe she doesn't want to be saved. You're out having an adventure, time of your life, while like maybe I want to be with this guy or whatever. And I was just like, this is dumb. She clearly screams Mario's name every time or whatever. I was just like,
Right, yeah.
like jokingly take it way too serious. I'm like, in the game's like, whatever.
Well, actually.
I'm like, actually, which is funny because that plays into what happens very soon. And he has a friend who gets like,
Actually, he unfriended me.
he unfriended him, and he posted a thing about one time. It was just like, men are terrible, blah 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 blah. He goes on his whole rant, and at one point in his argument, he goes, even back in the day when Mario was saving Peach from Donkey Kong, and that's when I like put on the gloves, cracked my fingers. I was like, excuse me, motherfucker, that was Pauline, not Peach. That was Pauline, his first girlfriend, back when he was living in Brooklyn, motherfucker, as a plumber. You need to learn your
Mario.
shit. I was like, that was Mario Jumpman Mario saving Pauline from Donkey Kong, not Princess Peach. You don't know your shit. You're invalid right now. I was like, did not even recognize anything he was talking about for a legitimate argument. I was like, actually,
That's
that
good.
was Pauline, not Peach.
And to paint the picture about this gentleman, he said so. If we're going to talk about fights on the internet, so there was a video posted about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and then the partying that ensued.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Are you an Eagles fan?
Go Birds.
Yeah. I went to a party in the Poconos and somehow got an Eagles jersey. It's still in the closet.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Whose jersey did you get?
What jersey?
I'll ask my dad.
What, do you know the number?
In between 0 and 100.
Great.
So Carson Wentz.
It might actually be
Number 11.
Carson Wentz,
I don't
11,
fucking
17.
know. It's
Alshon
got an
Jeffrey.
eagle on the front of it and it's green. It's all I got. All right, leave me alone. But he
Go Birds.
there was this video that compared, like, they turned the partying in Philadelphia into like white riots versus black riots, and I'm just like, who thinks of the world this way? And Ian, I've never seen someone with more white guilt in my entire life. He's like, black people, Spencer, black people feel that way. I'm like, I mean, actually, if you take it to an individual level and blah-de-blah level, I was alluding to that there are individual opinions of people.
Right, yeah.
And he said that my mindset of individualism are the pillars that hold up white supremacy. And I'm just... And meanwhile, I have friends messaging me like, why are you still friends with him? I think it's important to keep people like that in your life. Not necessarily take them seriously.
I agree with
but
you.
It used to be, I miss having him as a friend, because if I ever posted something political, and I always thought in my head, there's no way anyone can ever come up with a rebuttal, I always knew Ian would be there to question it. Ian would be there to state whatever counter response there could be, and I enjoyed the back and forth.
Because you need someone there to be on the other side of the fence. So you're
And
not
he was
just-
always
Someone
there.
who you
Like,
can
he was
intellectually
always
respect.
like that episode of Rick and Morty when like the Jerrys are all kind of like patting themselves on the back. Like that's really what
Yeah.
people are like nowadays. Where it's just like,
Well, that's
I
what
need
happens
to
It's
keep.
when-
way more interesting having
It's
someone
close
who
by.
can disagree
Oh,
with
of
me.
course.
Well,
So,
that's what he did to himself. He unfriended me, so he didn't want to see my opinions anymore. And I get we all have lives to live, and some people go on social media as an escape from whatever. So I'm not judging his way of life, but for me personally, I couldn't do that because I can't cognitively drown out someone's opinion because I don't agree with it. And so,
I disagree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
attaboy. It's one thing that we can agree on.
You don't know how to have fun.
It's one thing we can all agree on.
I was like, I'll pick the one thing we can agree on. I had like so many notes of like stuff I want to talk about, and I like never got to any of it.
Oh, damn. Well, there's always next week.
We always do a quick hit segment.
A quick hit. All right, so
Words
like
are hard.
lightning round, because we're
Lightning
getting
round.
near to the end here.
We're going to get to Alex Jones because I want to get that one.
No,
Oh.
maybe. I'll put that as number 9 because I wrote 9, but I didn't put anything on there. So number 1, New York City is putting a limit to Uber and Lyft drivers. Do you think that's okay?
What do you mean in Uber?
Oh,
Uber
really?
into the amount of Lyft drivers in the city, or
Yes,
the amount of people they can
the
pick
amount
up?
of people they can have in New York City at like one time, I guess.
No, that's constricting this whole free market that we have. That's
I was gonna
an
say-
artificial constriction.
I was like, I'm happy you're having this one because you live in the city.
Yeah.
So I'm actually curious to hear what you think of. Do you think it's okay that they're limiting the amount of people who can be a Lyft or Uber driver.
That's super strange, and it's definitely messing with the whole. I mean, it's messing with what the capitalist kind of framework of them competing with what is now Curb, which is sort of like the New York Transit Authority taxis response to everything because they were late to the game, right?
Or else
exactly.
they would just fade away.
Exactly.
Well, there was the taxi union straight up attacking Uber drivers.
It's been nasty, man. Sometimes I'm like, I've been in a car, like if they have an Uber sticker up or whatever. For people who have Uber and Lyft stickers, I don't know why y'all do it. You don't need to. I see your license plate. We're good. But if they have it,
right?
Like I've been in situations where like they have the window open and like a cab driver will pull up and they'll like spit in their car. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very, very brutal. And what's wild about it is that most of those guys are just ex-taxi drivers. You have to be. So in New York, it's actually way less brutal, which I'm surprised to see that they're even messing with legislation that way because they have this additional clause where you need to have like a taxi driver's license. And it's sort of like this thing that you keep in your car and on the outside of your car that lets you know that you were approved. In order to get that, it's like a 5-figure kind of like tax that you have to pay in order
for the medallion.
Yeah,
right?
for the medallion. So you really have to earn it, and you really have to pay that back, and you really have to be a driver. So all those people, like, they're either in black car services or they're taxi drivers.
Well, it goes into the whole mentality of I had to work for it, so therefore you do too.
Right. So it's almost New York saying like, hey, because New York's. They're getting paid, even if you're a Lyft or Uber driver, but they're saying, no, you have to be with this employer, which is messed up. That's not America.
No. I mean, it's kind of funny. The artificial thing brings me to, like, I love cars. I don't know if we got to that point. But, like, I know, right? If you want to import a vehicle that was not sold in the United States, you have to wait for it to be 25 years old. That was actually started by Mercedes, believe it or not, because people were importing Mercedes from Germany over buying them from the American market, and Mercedes lobbied to Congress, and they were just like, oh yeah, we'll just put 25 years. We'll say that they're not safe or up to our emission standards or this and that, and unless you're in California, all the other cars probably are up to standard, whatever. But it's the same thing. We're like free market, except when someone lobbies to us and gives us lots of money. So there, Bob, what do you have to say on this subject?
I agree. I don't think they should really limit Uber and Lyft drivers. Personally, I feel a little bit more comfortable in someone who's driving their own car than a company car, because you're going to be less apt to drive around and drive like an a-hole because it's your car. You have to take that home with you.
You've never met me.
Touche. But I get normal people.
That's why you love driving in the city, just to be an asshole.
It's like when you cross the bridge, they give you a card that says, hey, you're allowed to drive like a dick now.
Lanes, lane markers, roads.
Turn signals. That was a factory-installed option.
Do you have a horn and a middle finger? You're good. Come on in.
It's funny because you would think that I would totally be on the side of, like, you can't limit that. I'm very on the fence right now with this whole topic because
You're
I'm on the
terrible libertarian.
Dude, I'm the worst libertarian ever. I'm in the mindset of like, no, you can't limit a company.
How dare you be a free thinking
person? How many like employees they want to have. I totally agree with that. But at the same time, I understand the concern that if they have way too many, that they're going to be flooding the streets.
Oversaturation. So we need to have Uber season where we get the hunters to come in and take out.
Then I wonder what are they going to do with these drivers?
Lyft season.
Uber season.
Lyft season.
Lyft season.
Uber season. Oh.
Got Bugs Bunny, bitch. But no, because I'm very much in the mindset of like that was quality. Good job, guys.
That was really cool. That was really good.
That was very good. But no, because I'm like, in the end, I think I'm on your guys' side of like, no, you can't do that. But I understand why, and I sympathize when they're like, there can't be that many people. And then I genuinely get curious, are they going to limit hours to people? Are like Uber drivers going to get set hours? Or it's like, hey, if you apply to be an Uber driver, you can now drive between the hours of like 12 and 8.
That's feel like the easiest way to do it.
It's like you can drive from 8 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, and like you get like 7.
That can fuck with peak hours of business and all.
So then they kind of trade off when people get it, and I'm like, will they do that to people? Because I'm sorry, one more thing.
No, you're good.
Because I'm saying the whole thing about Uber and Lyft was like, hey, you choose your hours, you do what you do, and then say they get this law gets put into place. are they then going to turn around in their entire company motto and just be like, okay, now you have set hours? Like, what are they going to do to combat this?
So to combat this, the easiest way they can do it is pretty much on the app side of things and only allow X amount of drivers to be logged in at a certain time. This way they're not, saying, oh, you're only allowed to drive between noon and 8 p.m., blah, blah, blah. This way they can say, okay, there are, 5,000 Uber drivers right now. 5,001, you try to log on. Unfortunately, the server's locked out.
I have a counter argument to that.
Okay.
Okay, say, all right, only
I was going to try and hold it to the end, but I'll be right back. You guys do your thing.
You're good. So say they're like, all right, only 1,000 people can be logged on at one time. I'm an Uber driver. I just leave myself logged in as an Uber driver, even when I'm like, I guess I'm not really on the clock. Like if I want to go eat or something, I'm not on the clock. But I still put myself down as like I am an active Uber driver. And then say you have like 10% of the people who are logged in as an active driver, but they're not actively looking for people.
That's fair. And I'm sure there are ways to kind of combat that. Or what if you're in New Jersey and you transfer over the bridge into New York? Is there a way, when you cross over that you're guaranteed to be, still on the clock when you get in?
You're not allowed to. Because you don't have the taxi driver's license.
Oh, so you're not even allowed to Uber someone in from Jersey to New York.
So Jersey drivers who get passengers who want to go into New York, they can drop them off Port Authority, whatever, and then after that they have to come back into Jersey in order to resume work. They
really?
can't. They can't pick up people outside.
Okay, because I used to take Lyfts from my company to New York City if I had to go into New York City for that day.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know they can go over, but I didn't know that they couldn't pick someone up. And
it was actually a huge inconvenience because people would lose out on a lot of money trying to get back over the bridge, especially during peak hours. So now they've updated their algorithm so that people who live in New York that happen to be in New Jersey now pick people up. Because I remember sometimes I would be like at my mother's place or whatever, and like when I head over, and I would just get rejection after rejection after rejected like 5 times a row in a day.
Wow.
Because Jersey drivers are like, I don't want to go to New York. I'm going to miss out on like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, that's very fair.
But now, like, I notice when I order from New Jersey, I get New York plates. So I'm getting people who want to go back into New York or people who can go back to New York.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that can be a thing where like they'll come over to the state where they're not technically registered in, pick someone up, come back to the state they're registered in, and then they can still do everything there because that's a good way to work.
But if they went
it.
down to Philly, they could just keep doing shit in Philly because Philly doesn't have that. You know what I mean?
Only New York.
Just New York. So you can go around to like any other state and like just keep driving.
Yeah, because Philly's not as concentrated as New York is.
Yeah, I will say the only thing that concerns me about either one of those potential answers, I won't drag this out too long and we'll be on this topic for a minute, but it is you kind of Uber and Lyft end up becoming shitty employers no matter what, because especially in New York where they recently passed like a whole situation where Uber drivers are now considered official employees with benefits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're seen that way. To have an employer that can't properly give them, well, I guess you can give shifts and stuff like that. It makes it weird. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was saying it was just weird if they decide to get them like you can work from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Like that's the hours they give, but like that's going against the entire motto of those companies to be like choose your hours, work whenever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, to try to get through most of these, I'll skip that one. Oh, something I found very funny that came up. I found this on Reddit. Pornhub announced that when Nintendo Switch gives browser support, they will officially back it.
What is it? What?
So you know
officially back it.
So you know when like game consoles get like web browser support.
Oh, so they're going to build to the Switch browser for compatibility.
Oh, yeah. They'll be like, no, we will be ready to go.
Really funny.
I mean, I figure as much, yeah.
I do really well on PlayStation. I just find it funny that the Pornhub's like, yo, when Nintendo Switch gives out that web support, we got you guys.
I'm just imagining like a Pornhub commercial with like the Wii Sports music in the background. Do.
No.
Now supported on Wii Switch.
No, you know what I'm imagining?
Fully interactive.
You know when the Nintendo Switch first came out.
No need to use the Wiimote.
you know when the Switch first came out, they were showing up the trailer, and that girl brings it to like that roof party.
Oh, yeah.
She takes it off and like playing. This is how I imagine.
Just like in Brooklyn.
Spencer brings his Switch to the roof party, brings up the dominatrix, and he's like, see, and right there's the door where you can find the gas meter.
Full circle. Full circle, mother.
The white door.
I imagine that scene where they're all huddled around the Switch with the controller, and that's what Spencer's doing.
That's beautiful.
Pause. Right there's where the gas meter
is. Beautiful.
Prior to shooting the podcast, we discussed the story about how one of my
on the podcast?
I don't know.
Did we?
Well, maybe it shouldn't be, but either way.
I think it might have
Long
been
story
before.
short,
Oh, it
I-
might have been
It was
before.
before.
My
I
bad.
found a
I thought it was during-
dominatrix one time.
Spencer visited dominatrix.
Oh no!
Put up a marker, cut that out. That can't go on the later streams.
Spencer did a
At
thing.
least
And
we're
he,
not live.
what happened to it? We're live. Embrace the mess ups.
Oh, he just did to you what I just did to.
Yeah.
What's the next subject?
The next subject I have here is a man owns 77 copies of Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival because every time he went to GameStop with his daughter, she wanted a new one, and he couldn't say no. So he put up a Craigslist posting saying, does anybody want, like with the 2 Amiibos included, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, because he has 77 copies.
Dude, I would hold on to those until they're vintage.
Oh, they're not vintage. Nobody wants to play that game anymore.
Well, no, I mean, give it like 30 years, and like the new hipstery kids be like cracking out the amiibo things, or I don't fucking know. They'll come full circle.
I have
Everything
one,
does apparently.
I have one jokingly issue with that game. There's a motto that money can't buy happiness, or like money it can't do that.
Yeah.
That's why we need
But-
communism.
But to win that game, you need happiness points. And at the end of the game, the amount of bells you have is converted into happiness points. So that
Money
game tells you that
literally
money
buys
buys happiness.
Listen, let me tell you,
Secret ulterior messages.
that game is dark.
Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing. There is a very good video on Animal Crossing that I absolutely love by Hot Diggity Demon. I don't know if you ever seen this before. He made a video about Animal Crossing and communism, and it fit perfectly.
Okay.
It's like the villager comes back. Like when you come back to your Animal Crossing town, oh, you've been gone for 7,000 years, and it's like so he comes back and like everyone's like rioting, throwing stuff at him, and they're all talking about like the liberty of the people or whatever. And he goes in, and like there's like Apollo the big eagle, is like, this is an government registered congregation. Everyone needs to stop immediately. And he goes in, and Isabel's just like trying to explain what she's been doing while the villager's been gone. And she's like, well, I took away everybody's slingshots because like nobody really needs slingshots. And she's like, oh, we had this character who's like big and fat's like, he didn't need to be a police officer. Now Apollo, he's big and strong, so we made him a police officer. And it's like all these people who disagree with our rules, we just threw them in jail. And it's just talking about all these things, and it gets to the end that like Isabel just installed communism into people.
Oh,
And it's very good because
word.
he uses like they use everything in Animal Crossing like
That's
perfectly
incredible.
to describe like how Isabel just installed communism into the Animal Crossing
is
world.
crazy.
We'll watch it afterwards.
I'll watch
It's
it
good.
afterwards because like I won't spoil the end, but it's perfect, beautiful, beautiful.
Marks.
Just and then some gaming things I brought up was that there's an article talking about how Octopath Traveler and God of War numbers show that people still care about single player games.
I
Because
agree.
we're living in a world
I
where
actually prefer single player to multiplayer. I
multiplayer
don't
games
like
are
online
kind
gaming.
of dominating
Same.
the market, and the really good sales of the new God of War and Octopath Traveler are showing the world that hey, people still care about these single player story driven games because I think like the new Call of Duties don't have
never
single
realized
players
that wasn't-
anymore.
Not a thing.
For years, I've like Call of Duty is sort of like my Linkin Park record. It's that CD you get in high school, and like you just keep like every time there's a new Linkin Park album, I just keep Rest in Peace Chester. I always buy it, like whether I like the music or not. I have the same relationship with Call of Duty, but honestly, I just I think I had a friend who worked at GameStop, and he let me in on a little secret that they have a policy where if you purchase a game new, you can return it and get a full refund as long as you return it within 1 week. And I would always do that with the new Call of Duty, and I would just play the campaign and return it because that's all I cared about.
Nice.
That's my favorite part. Multiplayer, not so much.
Fuck you, Call of Duty. I'm gonna sell you back my game for
the
$3.
campaigns for a lot of them are actually really good. Like the last one I remember playing fondly was 4, like Call of Duty 4 Modern
Oh my
Warfare.
goodness,
Had a
yes.
very good story playing.
Oh,
as
Modern
Soap.
Warfare. Yeah, Soap McTavish was like an amazing story.
Oh
I
my
love
god,
that
yeah.
story.
It was a lot of fun to play as with Captain Price and the whole like crew there. Like that one was really good. I love that mission where you play as like a young Captain Price with his superior officer, and like he broke his leg and he sniped people at the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
dude,
sniping,
loved that.
is the best. Oh my gosh, the Ferris peel with Ferris peel. That is what she said.
Ferris Bueller.
Words are hard.
Bueller. The Ferris wheel with the waves coming out was like
that was
so choice.
It was
that
a lot of fun.
Was that the controversial one where like you play the
yes, and you play as someone
it
who
was
joins
optional that you could skip it.
Yeah.
Did anyone actually skip it?
I'm sure somebody did.
I'm sure
people probably did.
Because I'm sure it said, this is a graphic scene, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's like, oh my God.
It's like, as soon as you start the game, it
come
says
on.
there is a graphic scene in this game. Well, granted, I mean, when I played it, like, it kind of impacted me a little bit. Like, I didn't shoot anyone when I did it because I was just
me
like,
neither.
Right, no, I'm not
holy
saying.
shit, like, this
I'm
is
not
intense.
saying did everyone go in there and slaughter. I'm saying did anyone not
there's
play it. It
people
was just
did.
wall of God. I mean, but it's more like one of those things where like you see on TV. Viewer discretion is advised. Like, well, my eyes are glued to the TV now. I was gonna go get a snack, but not anymore. No,
I totally get the tantalizing part. Not to make it super duper dark or anything, but like,
oh, my friend, darkness is well accepted in these realms.
But just for some empirical data on that kind of stuff, like I have a friend who unfortunately like lost his parents from 9/11, so he saw that scene and just skipped it right away because it's just
That's fair.
Yeah, there were like edge cases. It was worth
And
it,
it was-
having the menu in there.
When I played it too, I thought that was an American airport. So I was just like, wow,
Right,
I was like, that is a boundaries they're pushing doing this in an American airport. Then later I learned it was a Russian airport.
So it doesn't really matter though. If you think about it, like
Well,
when
see,
it comes
but,
from
like,
a human to human thing, should
That's
that
the thing.
actually
When I was a
matter?
kid,
It makes you think
when
about
I was
it though.
a kid, I like when I heard there was a Russian airport, I was like, oh, whatever, Russians. I don't care about them. But then, like I got older and I was like, and then when I got older, I was just like, how can I think like that? Like. That doesn't change the scene. Like, when I got older, I was like, wow, that really doesn't change the scene. But I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you think it's like, oh, well, they're not, it's like, because once they put it like it's in America, you're like, that could be my mom and dad.
I find
that
those,
could be my brother or something. But when it's Russian, it's like, it's people I don't know. It's like any country, it's like, I don't know them. Why do I care?
See,
But
that's
then,
why
like,
I
you
find
grow older and you're like, I'm not a douchebag.
it's
kind of.
important to keep those kind of moments in gaming or in any really medium. It's important not to chastise.
Chastise. Words.
Yes, jazzercise them.
Don't chastise the Ferris wheel.
That was really good.
Ferris wheel.
Don't chastise the Ferris wheel, all right?
So many golden moments in this episode.
But no, back to a serious note. No, but it's
Jazzercise.
genuinely it's important to keep these moments that bring up controversy because I think especially nowadays with our political climate, it's so hard for creators to do things like I can't imagine something being like that or like even flip it like either it's like you're bombing a marathon or you're taking out a religious group.
Oh,
or
but
just
there's all those
something.
new games on Steam that's like play as the school shooter or the students, and it's like try to survive the school shooting, and it's like, why would you make that game now?
Is it artistic
be
in any
edgy?
way?
I really don't think so.
'Cause I mean, like there was the Columbine game back in the day that I didn't play it.
There's a Virginia Tech game too.
Why?
It was shortly after the Virginia Tech shooting. Somebody made like an 8-bit game of like play as the shooter and shoot people, and I was like, you're making that for shock value.
Well, I
Like,
think it
there
comes
is no
back,
art to be found here. You're making it for shock value and to get
right.
revenue.
It comes back to context. Really does matter. Like that scene
yeah.
in Call of Duty was not meant there to be here. We're gonna breed the next school shooter.
Yeah,
like
I'm saying,
that is
that
a
makes
artistic
sense.
scene to try
To make you
That's
feel.
the one thing that's
Yeah.
great about video
And to further
games
the
over any
story
medium. Is even though no, you're not actually holding a weapon in hand, it still puts you in a situation where you can at least maybe understand what's going through the head of someone. Like, I'm not gonna lie, yes, I opened fired, but it was weird. I didn't do it because it's something I want to do in real life. I did it because I'm like, what does this feel like, or what would this simulated feeling feel like? And enjoyment's not a word I'd put to it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even just saying that for the podcast. Like, I'm genuinely. It was just something like, holy shit! Like, it was a wow. It was just a moment.
Has anyone here ever played the game Spec Ops: The Line?
I've heard of it. I haven't
Never
played
heard of it.
That is a game I highly recommend to you guys, especially you. You would love that game.
All right,
Spec
I'm
Ops: The
in.
Line. It's
Let's
kind
play.
of showing off. It's just a generic military shooter. No, play the story of that game.
Stream it on Twitch.
Holy crap! That
it
game makes
PC
you
game?
think. It might be on PC. I played it on 360.
No, dude. Because my little brother was a huge
That
Call of
game
Duty
will
fan.
blow you away.
So my little brother's 5 years younger than me, and so I guess he was probably around like 12 or 13. He was playing Call of Duty, and he was contemplating the military. And I'm all for him wanting to join the military if he wants to, but as a 13-year-old playing Call of Duty, I was kind of wondering if his mentality was a little jaded, if you know what I mean.
It's like every 13-year-old kid's after playing
Right.
that game. It's just like,
So
I could be in the military. This is fun. It's like, ooh.
we watched an old movie called Full Metal Jacket together. Needless to say, I did it because like if he watched that movie and said like, I want to join the military, hats off to you, brother. I love that movie because I don't think it glorifies everything. I think it's just like war. As a civilian that's never experienced war, it just feels like that. And so, needless to say, the scene that got him, he used to love his stuffed animals. And so the scene where like there's a stuffed animal with a balloon and one of the soldiers goes over to it and the other soldier tries to stop him, but it's too late and the stuffed animal explodes. I saw a demeanor change in him. And that's why I won the Brother of the Year award.
I'm a good brother because I haunted mine for years.
So I think I tried to give a portrayal of something that I didn't know much about. I'm not going to pretend like I know what it's like to be in combat, but it was one of those things where like, oh, okay, you're thinking about the military. Excellent. What about this perspective?
Perfect segue for this was another topic I want to talk about was I don't understand what a lot of games are trying to do nowadays is be very nitty-gritty and dark with their games. And just like even like every game I see nowadays is very just like it's like gray.
Oh, it's fashionable.
While it's like you look at like the latest Mario or Zelda or something, and it's just like it's colors everywhere, and it's fantastic to look at. Because I was watching a comparison of Red Dead Redemption to Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's on a brown scale,
and it's just Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just gray, brown. That's it. And you look at Red Dead Redemption 2. It's like it's not the most colorful game. It's not like Mario Odyssey, but like it's a little more vibrant in the game itself. While it's just games I see a lot nowadays are just like very just like a generic color scale, and it's just not appealing to look at.
I think it's a trend. I think everyone like, especially I've seen throughout social media this whole self-depressive trend, like hanging out with my three friends. It's me, myself, my crippling depression.
It's popular to be depressed.
Right. Exactly. It's fetishized.
It's very fetishized to be depressed.
And at one side of the spectrum, I think it's really cool. No, I'm sorry, terrible phrasing. Take two. I think it's very genuine that people are better to shut up. People are more open about discussing their genuine feelings rather than putting on a front and being like, sure, everything's fine. Like people are just more open about discussing their inner feelings and how they genuinely feel, and to realize that a lot of us go through a similar process. But on the other hand, you just see like animated text, and it's just like a dude with a skateboard 90s, like, yeah, me hanging out with my suicidal tendencies, and it's just like, why?
That's why when I saw that picture of the girl. It's like when it's summertime, but you're depressed, and she has like a pink coffin that's like a floaty device for the ocean.
Right? Like, it's just like,
like, what are you trying to get across here?
I don't know.
I
noticed a trend on Twitter. I haven't
it's on
super
Facebook.
with games,
it's
but
all over
like,
Facebook.
Oh no, that's
I noticed like
we kind of strayed away from the original intent here, but
gaming.
It was like the game whole about being nitty gritty and dark with just the colors, but like then we started talking about like it's fun to be depressed, kind of.
Well, it bell curves back though. Like people, indie game developers or whoever. Or actually, I wouldn't even be indie game. It's a Rockstar game, right? Red Dead.
Well, Red Dead's a Rockstar game,
right?
Yes. But no, there's a lot of indie games too. Like even indie games are just like, here's a bland color, but
I will say what I noticed at PAX though was there was a lot of darkness, but what I loved about the indie game scene though is that there was a very different take on all of it.
No, like the darkness meant something.
Yeah,
like Limbo is a game perfectly where it's like
where it's
the darkness
kind of film noir
something,
situation,
or inside. Inside
it drew from a real like movement.
Yeah, it's like the darkness means something. It's not just like it's just gray because whatever. Like I look at Gears of...
Oh, sorry. Please go ahead.
No, sorry. You go.
No, I was just gonna say I think it's an interesting. In some ways, it feels like it's like drawing from like this kind of meta modern idea of like vulnerability being the most prized thing that we have, and like at least I can't speak for games, but I can at least speak for like memes and social media and stuff, where it's just sort of like being very open about. Even like making a punchline out of I'm clinically depressed, like I'm at the end of myself, like well I'm dead inside, so none of this matters. Well I'm whatever, like. It's almost like it's become an interesting topic because it's been taboo for so long that like there's a higher sensitivity to like laugh at it because it's just like it almost seems like within like the grand scheme of social conversations like a really funny punchline we haven't heard for a while. But I wonder how long that will like
it's a trend.
Last for. What I compare it to is like I think about like when Harambe passed away and like there were all these jokes about like Harambe's death. Like
the zoo had to ask people to stop. You broke the one golden rule: you don't ask the internet to do things you don't want them to do.
My theory around it, and I could be completely wrong and like just poor speculation on it, is that it's so taboo to talk about death when somebody actually passes away. Like to make jokes about it is completely unheard of. But here we have this weird situation where we have the closest thing to an actual human passing away, and the internet did not stop making jokes about Harambe dying or anything. And not that it like offends, but doesn't offend me or anything. But like I almost wonder if part of what made us giggle so much about it is like, oh, we're like getting away with joking about death.
Death, of course.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we never get to hear these jokes. We never make these jokes, you know?
Well, see, I think I get what you're saying, but I think people do make those jokes. I know I make those jokes, but you make them amongst your friends. Oh, you can ask Brian. I mean, there's probably we've said jokes in front of people that had them concerned for us.
Yeah, but we had a very quick story because we do got to wrap up soon.
All right,
very quick story is that
end on a happy note.
And on a great happy note.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. He's making fun of me because the story I'm about to tell is like sad, but also kind of like funny. Was that back in 2016? For me, it was just like one of the worst years of my life.
Can I have this one?
I'll let you tell part of the story.
Okay.
It was 2016 because everyone's like, oh, celebrities die, whatever. I'm like, no, 2016 sucked because my grandma died and my mom got cancer and my grandma got cancer and she died from it. Okay. So my mom's in remission now, so it's okay. Don't worry. So my mom got cancer, breast cancer, and it was like right around the time where she just got it, and I'm like really like bummed out. And I was working promotions at the station I was at the time, and I go to meet up with him because the person's house I was staying at, they were out, so I was like, I need somewhere to go. So I go over there, and our friend Eric's also there. And I'll let you take it from here.
Now, 2016 was a rough year for me, not comparatively, but my 2016 started off with me getting kicked out of my best friend of a decade's house. And him and I never really recuperating so much from that, ending with me getting split up with my ex of what was 6 years. So it's one of those things where him and I both have the mutual, like, yeah, 2016 sucked, not just because of a bunch of celebrities that don't know your name died. It just actually sucked. But so my one friend, we told the story, Eric had a bad day also. He meant to go meet up with a girl in Atlantic City, and she kind of just snubbed him out of nowhere. And and I know the kid. Of all the reasons, like there was just nothing. But so he came. Brian was hanging out. This was at my firehouse. I was wrenching on my car. I was underneath it. He was just over to hang out, waiting for our friend to get back. Eric shows up too, and he just, hey guys, how's this going? And as I'm wrenching, I was here. Oh, hey Brian, congratulations about the cancer. And I'm like wrench, and I just pause. And there's just a moment of silence. And I know Eric. He has an awful sense of humor, just like us. But I know he also doesn't know how to be genuine. And he just sounded genuinely happy for Brian. And I just burst out laughing from underneath my car because I know that he didn't mean that on purpose. And we all knew the situation happened. What actually happened was Eric briefly scrolled over his Facebook and saw Brian, mom, cancer, and probably like a support or something.
I made a post on Facebook saying like my mom has had a 4.0 since like middle school. She's got a master's in neuroscience. She's a nurse of like this many years. She teaches nurses right now. She got a doctor in the other like last year. It's like this year the next thing on her resume is kicking cancer's ass. Okay. And he thought that she already beat it at the time. Okay. So he came up to me and was like, "Oh, tell your mom congratulations." God. And then when he said that, the world's kind of like just like everything stopped for a second because I looked at him with genuine curiosity, like, "What?" And then I was just like, "Huh?" And then I hear because like the best part is he says, "Tell your mom congratulations." I was like, "Huh?" Like it wasn't even mad. I was like, "What?" And you just hear everything stop. All I hear is from underneath the car.
My God!
And he just starts laughing, and I'm just so confused. And Eric's like, didn't your mom just beat cancer? And I was like, no, she just got cancer. And his face drops.
Eric's my best friend. Eric's my best friend, which is why I know the moment he was so genuine about congratulating about the cancer that he really thought that the cancer was beaten. It was not a bad joke. But point being, these are moments that should be laughed at. These are moments that should be...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if cherished is the right word, but it's
not cherished, but like it's something you laugh
remembered
about. Because
laugh at it.
Life
is so fucking short.
I laughed
Have
at it.
fun.
I laughed at it that day too because I knew he genuinely didn't mean that. But he was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I thought you just beat him." I'm like, dude, it's fine.
If somebody walks up to you and really is congratulating you about your mom getting cancer, you don't gotta laugh at that. But again, context genuinely matters. We all knew Eric was happy about something that didn't actually happen.
So then when my mom finally did go into remission and beat cancer, he called me and he was like, hey, congratulations now on it.
Oh, man.
Like,
That's
thanks,
great.
dude.
Yeah.
I got a phone call from him. It was like a few months ago. My mom was like, we're in remission, beating cancer. And I was like, hell yeah, Mom. And then I made another post about it and he called me and he was like, hey, congratulations on the cancer. I
don't know.
Thanks, dude.
That's great. That's great. I love that. I love that.
I don't know.
That is a good story.
Oh,
That's a good
it
story.
was a very good story because it's just I knew that like that's not the kind of guy he is to like be like, haha, your mom has cancer. It's
And
just
he gets mistaken as being a genuine dickhead sometimes by people just because he is himself
Yeah.
the moment he meets you, which is good. He's genuine.
like-
but some people are just off-put sometimes.
it was like an IRL Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
yeah.
Amazing.
Like
Prime way
as
to
soon
put
as
it,
he
yeah.
said that, when everything stopped, you could just hear bum bum bum. Like, that if that played, it would have been perfect. Like, that would have just made that moment that much better. But I think it's that time to ask everyone, what did you learn today? Spencer, why don't we start with you? What did you learn today?
There was so much that we covered.
That was
a
like
lot.
that was great.
I learned that I can do it.
There you go.
I
Nice
just
positive
don't know
message.
the best way, whether it be YouTube or whatever. Like, there's people out there that want to see it happen for others. This can happen.
Bob, what'd you learn today?
I learned that you are incredibly opinionated about Diddy Kong Racing.
Take away mine. I was literally about to say, I learned that I fucking turned your argument around about GoldenEye and proved that Diddy Kong Racing is superior game to Pokemon Snap.
All right. Take it up on Twitter. Jesus.
Dude, that's 3 for 3. I was going to say I learned that I should really be giving Diddy Kong Racing.
Fuck that, you can do it. Diddy Kong Racing's a great game. I forgot which episode I was watching where I think Gerard said he was like 0 for 3 on games he was kind of like trying to back, and he just has this sad look on his face, and it just says like wasted or something. And I was just like, I feel you so much right now because every game I think I picked also lost, and I was like, come on.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my god.
Wonderful.
So
Also, Time Splitters is an amazing game.
Real shit.
Fight to the death on that. I will fight anyone to the
I
death.
don't think you learned that. I don't think you learned that today.
I didn't learn it, but I want everyone to watching to still learn that Time Splitters Future Perfect is the best game ever.
Play it on Twitch. Why don't you?
I will actually.
Do it. You won't.
Well, actually, I don't think
You're
I
right,
can because I can't play retro games that well on my computer. I can only play games with HDMI cords.
We'll figure it out.
My
We'll do
Elgato
it.
doesn't do RCA. I'm not
Anyway,
cool enough for
Bob,
that
a
yet.
few words.
So I guess before we, wrap up, Satch, go ahead and plug yourself. Where can we find you online?
I want to know
YouTube,
too because I
Twitter,
have not seen enough of
etc.
your stuff, and now I want to see all of it. So please tell me.
Ooh, I am on Twitter at Satchell Drakes. That's Satchel with 2 L's like a bag.
He said it.
In the Instagram, same thing, but there's a dot between Satchel and Drakes. And then on YouTube, of course, it's just Satch Bags. Yeah, that's it.
Right on.
That's me. That's my jam.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for having me.
Was
This
there
has
a-
been amazing.
Literally, anytime you want to come by, I gladly would love to have you again.
This is awesome.
Brian, was there a
Definitely.
catchphrase you want to hear or something?
Oh no, I would say when we're to the very end.
Okay.
I'll let him say
All
it.
right.
Fair enough. So, again, you've been listening and watching on Twitch. Shootin the Shibby. Don't forget, you can like us on Facebook at Shibby Shack. You can also follow us on Instagram at Shibby Shack Official. Check us out on iTunes. Like us, subscribe, give us 5 stars, and all that fun stuff.
Or one?
Give us a rating. We
We'll
prefer 5,
take.
though.
We just want the interaction.
We'll take a rating. But give us 5 stars and let us know what you want to hear. Give us some feedback. Leave a comment. And, shoot us an email at shibbyshackofficial@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Player.fm, TuneIn Radio. Pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast, that's where we're going to be. You can also check us out on our website, shootintheshibby.podbean.com. Also, special thanks to Bethany at Crafters Quest for creating our very awesome logo.
Thanks, Boo. Come back sometime.
We won't get drunk.
We promise. DJ Quads, who created all of our music for us as well. And then, of course, make sure you follow and subscribe to our Twitch account at twitch.tv/shibby_shack. Every now and then, Brian, Spencer, and I will jump on and broadcast ourselves doing things like sucking at PUBG and things like that. So
I don't play PUBG anymore.
I guess for one final time, you could also follow our own personal Instagrams. Spencer at amateur3verything.
Amateur everything.
I'm Bob and Bob_on-air. Brian, what's your account?
I think it's
The BK Lounge.
I think it's the BK Lounge 97.
Burger King Lounge.
It's that or Bedside Cargo. I'm pulling it Instagram up right
Burger
now.
King Lounge 97.
It
your
is
time's up.
The BK Lounge 97.
Oh, there
I'm
goes.
Bedside Cargo for literally everything else. This one I'm the BK Lounge 97.
Is there something special about 97? Like 1997?
I was going to say, please don't say
I'm
that's
going to show my glasses here. If you look at the periodic table of elements, element number 97 is berkelium with the initials BK.
I'm
Actually, I like that.
That's
I like that a lot.
I'm actually fucking impressed because, like, there's no way you're born in 97.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
No, I was sitting in chemistry my junior year of high school, and I was just looking at, like, while my teacher's talking, instead of paying attention to get a good grade in chemistry, I was looking at it, and I was like, I wonder if I can find my initials on here, and it was element number 97.
That's wonderful.
And I was like, yeah, that's my initials. I like that number now. And that was my number in football ever since.
Nice.
97.
All right, Brian, take it away.
Take it away?
Yeah.
Take it away
Was
now.
there something you wanted to hear or say or do?
Oh, I was going to let Satchell here end it with every single video I've seen you on. You always end it with a certain tagline. I was going to let you do it here.
Wait, I think it... Copacetic.
Yeah! That's what I wanted to hear.
Wonderful.
Have a good one.
Music.